Chapter 281, Hiring Amon as an Actor. Chapter 281, Hiring Amon as an Actor. Chen Zhao, someone used the spell Bloodline Blend to forcibly attach his relatives' souls to his body. Can you pull these 3 souls out? They're definitely his close relatives. If I pull their souls out, I'll be killing them. Are you sure you want that? Blackie asked. Movich tutors looked at Chen Zhao anxiously. Chen, you have a solution, right? Chen Zhao looked at Movich. Do you find the 3 faces familiar? Familiar? What do you mean? Have you not observed the 3 faces carefully? How do you expect me to observe such frightening faces? Also, whenever they appear, they'll scream. Bring up your shirt, slowly. Perhaps they're still asleep. Chen Zhao was still scared. Movich slowly lifted his shirt, exposing the 3 fearsome faces. Chen Zhao extended his hand and rubbed Movich's chest. A woman's face gradually appeared. Movich shouted in surprise, "Mom? She's your mom?" I don't know." Little had Movich expected the strange face to be his mother's. How about this one? He's my dad. And this? My grandmother. She raised me during my childhood. Here's the situation. Someone has placed them in your body. I can remove them, but it'll kill them. But, they're already dead, right? Yes, they'll die again. Then how? Stop asking me. What do you want to do? Is there no other way? Dunno. It's also the first time I've encountered such a situation. I need to think about it. Please, you must think of a solution. I'll try my best. Here's your pay. Please take it. Movich gave Chen Zhao a 200,000 check. Chen Zhao pushed the check away. I won't take the money until your problem is solved. Please take it. It's the deposit. Movich had been in desperation. Now, he could finally see some hope. He was afraid that Chen Zhao would never return after leaving. He would only be relieved if Chen Zhao took the money. Are you very rich? In Chen Zhao's opinion, Movich's house was very ordinary. However, he did not hesitate to give Chen Zhao the $200,000 check. He even took it to be the deposit only. This is my maternal grandmother's house. I hid here to avoid my servants. I still won't take the money. Wait for me to think of a solution first. Then give me your number, Movich said, uneasy. After giving Movich his number, Chen Zhao left. Chen Zhao could feel Movich's helpless and anticipating look as he left the house. Then, he went to Ethan's place for free lunch. Chen, how is it? The client's condition is rather complicated. I can't heal him for now, Chen Zhao sighed. Ethan also sighed in disappointment. But there's still a chance. I need to think about it. It seems that he's only taking the 200,000 as the deposit. Hearing Chen Zhao's words, Ethan's face was filled with delight. Really? Anyway, it won't be less than 200,000, provided I can heal him. Then what are you waiting for? Quickly think of a solution. I'm hungry. Get me some food first. So you're just here for the free food. Displeased, Ethan threw Chen Zhao a packed sandwich. Chen Zhao took a can of Coke himself. Just then, Chen Zhao received a call from Stephen. Chen, are you free? Why? Are you unwell? No, just want to have a meal with you. Fine. Where do I go? Silver Building, 23rd floor. I'll be right there. When Chen Zhao exited from the elevator, he turned left and saw a restaurant before him. There were 2 men in black jackets at the door. The restaurant was very empty. Chen Zhao called Stephen. Stephen, I'm at the door. One of the men seemed to have received a message through his earphones. He walked up and asked, Sir, are you Mr. Chen? Yes. Please come in. Mr. Stephen is waiting for you inside. When Chen Zhao walked into the restaurant, he realized that Stephen was the only customer. He was sitting by the window. Chen Zhao approached him. Stephen called the waiter, You can start serving the dishes now. Chen, I accepted the PLM film about you and your friends. Huh? Why? Do you want me to act? Chen Zhao did not even believe this himself. After all, Chen Zhao was an Asian. In most American movies, the main characters were not Asians. As far as he knew, there was already a preliminary script for the movie he had sold, and he was only a secondary character. Of course, Chen Zhao did not really mind it. PLM had bought the copyright to earn money in the first place. If he insisted that the protagonist had to be an Asian, the box office might collapse. It would be bad for both him and PLM. If you really want to act, I won't mind, Steven said, smiling. Forget it. Just tell me what you want. I want to borrow Amon for filming. Chen Zhao did not know if the lazy Amon would be able to tolerate it. Would it be too difficult a task for him? I'm paying him at the highest rate for Hollywood animal actors. Hollywood CG can be very realistic, right? Do you know how much 1 minute of CG costs? For most Hollywood films, as long as the time and money needed do not cost more than CG, CG will not be used. No matter how realistic CG is, it cannot be compared with filming the actual thing, Steven said. Chen Zhao thought about it. How much are you paying exactly? I need to know how well Amon can cooperate. You can ask him to do anything that he can physically do, provided I'm around. If you want him to fly, you probably need to find a helicopter first. So as long as you're present, you can ask him to do anything, right? Kind of. Then I'll pay you 15,000 per hour. How long do you need him for? About 3 to 4 days. We'll be filming for about 30 hours, Steven said. The exact time depends on the actual effects. Can you make the pay higher? Chen. I'm just the director, not the investor. Steven gave a dry laugh. Chapter 282, Female Lead. Chapter 282, Female Lead. Chen Zhao could manage to accept this price. When does shooting start? He asked. I'll let you know. The cast is still preparing. Oh, Vincent has a role in this too. Oh. What's his role? One of the robbers, the getaway driver in a bank robbery case. He gets killed by the Mexicans. Chen Zhao didn't know if he should laugh or cry. Oh, my character won't die, right? He asked. Of course not. I promise, Steven replied, half joking. Right, did you hire those 2 bodyguards recently? Steven nodded. A few days ago, I attended an event and a stranger tried to approach me, but the event's guard stopped him. He took out a gun and injured one of the guards. I hired these 2 that same day. Did you get hurt? I'm fine, just had a fright. Steven shook his head. He had everything at this age, making him fear death even more. This was normal. Even Chen Zhao feared death, let alone Steven. Steven already prepared the contract, so Chen Zhao signed it. Oh, Steven asked. Do you still have contact with Yafan Livana? Chen Zhao thought for a moment. Hollywood was a realistic place. The main reason that she'd gotten that role before was because of him. She didn't have a foundation in Hollywood. Otherwise, she wouldn't have asked for his help after acting in Steven's movie. If this path was blocked, all her past efforts might go to waste. If possible, give her a chance. I think she'll be a good actress. Yafan didn't have a representative work in Hollywood yet. Without that, no one would remember her. If no one remembered her, she would fail. There were too many actresses like her in Hollywood. It was a homogeneous group. Yafan wasn't the most extraordinary. If she didn't have a representative work, a memorable role, she would be lost in the sea of people. You still have feelings for her. She's a good actress, Chen Zhao said vaguely. She works hard too. Feelings? Chen Zhao didn't think that he had any special feelings for Yafan. They'd had something before though, and had ended things without problems. Yafan had even given her blessings when Chen Zhao told her he had a girlfriend. Whether she was genuine or not, Chen Zhao still hoped that she could succeed in Hollywood. At least, she wouldn't be as miserable as right now, laboring for the tiniest roles. Do you think she can take the female lead? Steven asked. The role of Kate, the reporter? In the script, David became the main character. The female lead was Kate, who was brave enough to expose the truth. If you think she can, I won't object, Chen Zhao said. But could Steven decide on the female lead? Chen Zhao wasn't part of Hollywood, but he knew that the casting wasn't only the director's decision. He might be able to decide the second and third leads, But there were too many considerations for the female lead. "It's my movie," Steven said nonchalantly. "I'm in charge." Chen Zhao glanced at Steven. He'd almost forgotten that this man was a renowned director in Hollywood. Steven's box office totaled to a few billion. He didn't rely on the accumulation from sequels either. He never filmed sequels. Even if the 6 major film companies wanted him to direct a movie, they wouldn't get involved in the cast. This was Hollywood. This was reality. As long as you proved your talent and was able to attract box office numbers, then you could do whatever you wanted. As one of Hollywood and the world's most successful directors, Steven was able to ask for even more authority, even to the editing of the film. Many times, the movie filmed by the director and the final product were completely different. This was a problem in editing. This was also the difference between major and ordinary directors. Chen Zhao didn't even pay attention to the entertainment industry, but even he'd heard of Steven back in China. "If she can have this chance, I'll thank you for her. If you really want to thank me, cut down Amon's cost by half. In your dreams." Just then, a guard in black walked in. "Sir, a woman wants to see you." "Name?" "Lucy." "Oh, her. Tell her I'm busy." Steven waved his hand. "I should go, Steven." "Okay." Steven rose to embrace Chen Zhao. "Can I take this lobster to go?" "You asshole," Steven said, laughing. "You scammed me out of tens of thousands of dollars just then. This lobster costs $8,000. Bye." Exiting the restaurant, Chen Zhao took out his phone. "Hi, Yafen. Chen, how come you have the time to call me today? Did you break up with your girlfriend? If you need comfort, I'm just a call away. I just talked to Steven. You might have a chance at being the female lead in his new movie. Prepare a bit for it. I can't make promises, but you have a big chance." "Really? Chen, are you serious? Female lead? Can I really?" "Please, it's not confirmed now," Chen Zhao said nonchalantly. "Don't get so excited. The female lead is a reporter. She's the type to act on her own. I can't reveal too much, but I hope you can get this chance." "Chen, thank you. If you have any needs, I can satisfy you. Any position." Yafen teased Chen Zhao without holding back. Thinking of her sexy figure, Chen Zhao grew heated. However, he kept calm. He thought for a moment and gave up on it. Having sex for exchange was too much. Chen Zhao might not be an extremely dedicated person, but he would never be the first to betray his significant other. A polyamorous relationship was great, but not many women were willing to share her man and feelings with someone else. At least, Chen Zhao felt like he wasn't that lucky. Just then, a pair of long legs appeared before him. Chen Zhao looked up those long legs to see a gorgeous woman. Chen Zhao recognized her. He'd treated her before. "You're Lucy, did you forget? You saw my body before." Chen Zhao remembered Lucy, albeit only remembering that she'd suspected she had STDs. As for seeing her body, it was only for a checkup. Chen Zhao had seen Norman's body a handful times now. Looking with the eyes of a doctor and a man were completely different feelings. Many times, the setting of a character could be changed because of it. "Give me his address." Soon, Lucy arrived at Beverly Hills. It was not very far from the place she lived in, but the manor before her was way bigger than her small villa. Lucy dreamed of staying in such a manor. It was the life that she longed for. When she entered the manor, she saw a swimming pool which was itself larger than her villa. A maid and a child were playing in the pool. Mary lifted her head and glanced at Lucy. With her high heels, Lucy walked past her, scanning her with a proud look. Lucy walked into the house, admiring the extravagant decorations. All of them were indicating the extreme wealth of the owner. For example, there was an oil painting on the wall. Even with Lucy's shallow knowledge, she knew that it cost a lot, at least much higher than the amount she was going to get. "Hi, Lucy." Dell was half naked and wearing a loose pair of pants. When Lucy saw Dell, she found him slightly familiar. She had probably seen the young face somewhere before, but she could not recall. "Hi, have we met before?" You probably saw me in some magazine, Dell said, smiling. He had been eyeing Lucy for a long time. Her delicate face and perfect body were irresistible. Lucy thought that Dell must be very famous to be able to appear in a magazine. Judging from the size of the manor, Dell was definitely no ordinary man. How should I address you? You can call me Dell. That's how all my friends call me. Dell, your house is beautiful. Lucy gently touched her rosy lips and crooked her finger. What are you waiting for? Let's go to my room. It's even nicer, Dell said. Don't you feel it's more exciting here? Lucy pulled her low-cut shirt even lower. Dell could not move his eyes away from the deep cleavage. Dell seized Lucy's slim waist and the two kissed each other wildly. Suddenly, Faith's scream interrupted the two. Mr. Dell, this is too much. Mary walked in and stared at Dell in anger. Dell's expression froze and he quickly explained, we were just kissing. Lucy, go to my room. I'm calling Uncle. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want Daddy anymore. Faith pouted to display her dissatisfaction. Meanwhile, she took out her phone. Uncle, come and fetch me. I don't want to stay here anymore. I don't want Daddy. Wait. Faith, don't tell your uncle about it. It's Daddy's fault. I'm sorry. Dell immediately snatched the phone from Faith. Hey, Dell, what did you do again? Chen Zhao said. Listen, it's a misunderstanding. Daddy and a woman are doing bad things in the living room. I didn't, Dell was about to explain, but Chen Zhao had already hung up. Lucy looked at Dell, not knowing what to do. Dell, what happened? Dell's face darkened. Nah, it's nothing. Chapter 284, Exchange. Chapter 284, Exchange. A while later, Chen Zhao came. Seeing him, Faith ran into his arms. Uncle. Chen Zhao picked her up and turned toward Dell, with Lucy beside him. When Lucy saw him, she was surprised. She didn't expect that Chen Zhao would come here. Chen Zhao handed Faith to Mary. Take her outside to play. Then he looked at Dell and Lucy. Lucy took the initiative to greet him. Hi, Chen. We meet again. Ha, Chen Zhao scoffed. Dell, come here. Let's talk privately. Chen, let's make a deal. You can't hit me. Dell was really afraid that Chen Zhao would attack. You want me to hit you here? Chen Zhao asked. Dell rose immediately. Lucy, we're going outside for a bit. He and Chen Zhao walked outside. Lucy looked at them through the floor-to-ceiling window. It seemed that Chen Zhao and this Dell were very close. Dell, I don't care how messed up your private life is, but can't you think about Faith? Can you go to your room when you mess with women? Chen, this really is an exception. I was too impulsive just then. But we were only kissing. We didn't get to that point yet. Chen Zhao glanced at Lucy in the living room. He didn't have a good impression of her in the first place. You know her? No. I paid $150,000 for her. Oh, you know her too? She was my patient. What was her condition? Chen Zhao thought for a moment. It would be too much to reveal a woman's sickness. Plus, not breaching a client's privacy was the rule for private doctors. Just a small thing, but remember to wear condoms when you play with outside women. I don't want to treat your STDs, got it? Chen Zhao patted Dell's shoulder. I'll take Faith to my house tonight. Come get her tomorrow. Okay. I promise I won't do it in the living room next time. If there's a next time, I'll send you to the hospital. Dell shuddered. Ignoring him, Chen Zhao turned to leave. Mary, hand Faith over to me. You can have a day off. Go home and see Bant. Did you make it clear with Mr. Dell? I'm sure he won't do it again. Dell, Chen is only a doctor. Why are you so scared of him? Lucy lay on Dell, murmuring, that hurts. Don't try to sow discord between Chen and me so immaturely, Dell said coldly. We're brothers and you're nothing. If you mention our relationship again, there won't be a place for you in Hollywood anymore. I'm sorry. Dell, that's not what I meant. Dell was an ass, but he wasn't stupid. He'd seen too many girls like Lucy. She just thought she was smart, but to Dell, She was just a high-end prostitute. She was pretty, but she could be fucked with money. On the other hand, Dell's relationship with Chen Zhao couldn't be explained in a few words. Lucy quickly paid for her mistake. After they finished, Dell drove her out of the manor. She didn't receive anything other than the check. She was pissed, but she'd already thought of Dell's status. He was a big shareholder of CAA. That was the biggest management company of Hollywood with countless celebrities. CAA's connections were spread across the entirety of Hollywood. If she'd snatched this chance to sign with CAA, she would get more opportunities for herself. Unfortunately, she'd underestimated Dell's relationship with Chen Zhao. She'd also underestimated Dell's intelligence. No one who could thrive in Hollywood was an actual idiot. She'd only said one thing and Dell already saw her ulterior motive. "Lucy, did you finish?" "Yes," Lucy told her manager calmly. "How was it? How was his impression of you? You really want me to get into CAA? If I do, won't you lose me?" "Ha, I trust you'll be able to get me into CAA too." The manager wasn't stupid. He wouldn't do unprofitable business. "But you'll have to be let down. He doesn't plan on signing me." Lucy wouldn't reveal that she'd offended Dell. "Really? What a pity, it was such a good chance." The manager didn't think too much into it and continued, "Oh, there's a fashion show in 2 days. Do you want to go? Watch a fashion show?" "No, as a model," the manager said. "It's for the famous high-fashion brand Baroness. The boss has very deep connections and can even affect Hollywood. You can help me endorse Baroness?" Lucy asked, eyes brightening. "They don't need endorsements. With your status, you can't get it either." "Then what's the point of me going?" "Of course there's a point. Disregarding the pay, if you can meet the owner, you'll be able to become the female lead of a movie with her single word." "Is she really that powerful in Hollywood?" "Of course. The Baroness' influence in Hollywood is substantial. Practically every celebrity has one or a few tailored outfits from it. The owner's family is also influential and vast." "Okay, I'll take this job." Lucy understood that she couldn't reject or choose this job. After coming to Hollywood, she'd only done 2 things: act and get connections. She was willing to do everything to be connected to those big figures. Unfortunately, to them, she was only a pretty ornament. Hollywood was full of girls like her. So far, not a single big figure appreciated her. She gave up everything she could give to no avail. Oftentimes, it wasn't like she could just hook her finger and she could get in bed with someone. She didn't even have the power to reject when she wasn't willing. Any producer with a bit of fame could make her strip. She started off feeling disgust. Now, she was numb. Lucy didn't know how many people she'd fucked now. Getting money like today was good. Some might not even fulfill their promises or give an empty check. She couldn't even count how many empty checks she had now. Chapter 285 An Unkillable Man. Chapter 285 An Unkillable Man. Farley was giving Faith a shower, while Chen Zhao was in the swimming pool outside. At the moment, Chen Zhao was surrounded by all his demons, including Blackie. Still the same problem. It's not difficult to eliminate the 3 attached spirits, but how can I separate them from the host without harming them? "Kill the host," Obito said proudly. He was the first to come out with a solution. Yes, a very unique and refined solution, which we shall leave for further discussion later. Does anyone have any other solutions? Chen Zhao asked. Blackie was the expert here, but even he could not think of a solution, not to mention the other demons. "Blackie, what do you think?" "First, I can confirm that Movich was hit with bloodline blend. The 3 evil spirits are his closest family members, and they were forcibly attached to his body. Feature-wise, they have actually already become part of the host. It's like you have 5 fingers, and you feel that 5 is too many, so you cut off a few fingers and still want them to move. It's impossible. There's an old saying in Chinese which has the same meaning as where there's a will there's a way. Nothing is absolutely impossible." Chen Zhao did not want to give up. After all, it would affect Movich's entire life and Chen Zhao's payment. "Human, can't think of anything. The more I think, the hungrier I get. Beelzebub had already lain on the ground and stopped thinking. The other demons were also dawdling. No demon wanted to waste their time and brainpower on such a matter. I'll give the one who can think of a solution 1 year worth of demonic crystals. All the demons were energized at once. However, they only suggested ridiculous solutions, which were even worse than Obito's. Don't you have a more reliable solution? Chen Zhao slapped his forehead and looked at the demons. Just then, Farley also walked out, carrying Faith, who was wrapped up in a towel. Farley asked, "What are you talking about?" "I have a troublesome patient." "How?" Farley knew that Chen Zhao's medical skills were excellent. Hence, she wanted to know what illness Chen Zhao would describe as being troublesome. To be accurate, the person's not ill. There are evil spirits attached to his body. Then it should be an exorcism, right? Can you not do it? It won't be a problem if they're ordinary spirits. The thing is, he was hit by a spell. The 3 spirits turned out to be his father, mother, and grandmother who had raised him up. Will the 3 spirits harm the host? No. Then what's the problem? Oh, he just has 3 distorted faces on his chest. Whenever they see light, they'll scream and cause everyone to have concussion except the host. Apart from those, he's just fine. Can you not pull the 3 spirits out of his body by force? No, they've already totally fused with each other. Pulling them out will be like cutting off your fingers and still wanting them to function. Forget it, I can't help you. I'll bring Faith to bed first. Don't stay in the pool for too long. The more Chen Zhao thought about it, the more frustrated he became. He swam a few laps in the pool. The water at night was still somewhat cold. After swimming, Chen Zhao left the pool and dried himself up. Then, he changed to his sportswear. He informed Farley and then went out for a night run. Chen Zhao would not usually go for night runs, but he really could not fall asleep tonight. Normally, whenever he could not sleep, he would not let Farley sleep too. He would spend all his energy on Farley. However, Faith was there and he could not do anything. Therefore, he could only expend his energy by exercising. It was not too late, only just over 8, but the coastal road was already rather empty. Chen Zhao enjoyed the sea breeze as he jogged on the sidewalk. Suddenly, a person appeared on the path. The person was still wearing a hood, hiding his face. Chen Zhao did not notice him and collided into him directly. The person was blown backward by a meter and collapsed on the ground. "Sorry, are you all right?" Chen Zhao wanted to help the person to get up, but when he touched the person's hand, he felt a sharp burning sensation. "Ah! What's in your hand?" Chen Zhao withdrew his hand and realized that there was a brand. "Chen, it's the imprint of a demonic badge." "There's something wrong with that guy." Chen Zhao looked at the person before him. "Stop." Just then, a car on the road lost control and charged toward Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao quickly jumped away and barely dodged the car. "Buddy, are you okay?" the driver asked, sticking his head out. Chen Zhao was not hit. He saw the hooded man walking away and immediately gave chase. Realizing that Chen Zhao was chasing him, the hooded man also started to run. He was not slow at all. Chen Zhao followed him closely. Smith sped up, but soon he was short on stamina. Damn, why isn't he dead yet? Smith cursed as he ran. He would find his prey using the same method every night, and it was really simple. As long as he touched the victim's body with his hand, he would leave an imprint. Bad luck would quickly kill the victim. Smith would obtain the victim's luck, while the cursed coin would obtain the victim's soul. Just as Chen Zhao was chasing Smith, a lamppost by the road suddenly fell down without warning and smashed onto Chen Zhao's body. It was really a heavy hit. Smith stopped and looked at Chen Zhao, heaving a long sigh of relief. He's finally dead. Just as Smith thought that it was over, Chen Zhao got up from the ground again. Not dead. What's wrong with him? Pushing the lamppost aside, Chen Zhao raised his head and looked at Smith. He finally saw Smith's face clearly. "It's you." Chen Zhao had seen Smith at the entrance of the abandoned college building when Sienna called him for help. That time, both Chen Zhao and Blackie found Smith somewhat strange, but they did not investigate it in depth. Now, Chen Zhao could finally confirm that there was something wrong. Smith immediately ran away, and Chen Zhao obviously continued to chase him. The two raced against each other. Chen Zhao followed Smith closely, not planning to let him go. When Smith reached a car park, he could not run anymore. Just when Chen Zhao thought Smith was going to surrender, a car hit Chen Zhao from the back. Chen Zhao flew forward for a few meters, but the car still drove toward him. Chen Zhao made a roll and dodged the car. However, the car beside him also started its engine. Chen Zhao, his releasing evil spirits to control the cars. Don't fight with him here. Chapter 286, Different Function of Angelic Crystals. Chapter 286, Different Function of Angelic Crystals. Chen Zhao didn't know how many evil spirits this guy controlled. A dozen cars in the parking lot all had their lights on. Blackie swooped forward and destroyed 2 evil spirits. Chen Zhao suddenly had a strange feeling. It came from the mark on his left hand. Another car crashed toward him. This time, he was prepared and dodged it easily. Smith was about to escape again. Blackie, Chen Zhao called. Take out all these evil spirits. I'll go after him. These evil spirit cars gave Chen Zhao a headache, but it was nothing to Blackie. Plus, it could also give Chen Zhao more angelic crystals. As soon as he left the parking lot, Chen Zhao caught up to Smith. He jumped and tackled Smith to the ground. Just then, Smith released another evil spirit. Chen Zhao immediately activated the mouth of glutton on his right arm and swallowed the evil spirit. Seeing Chen Zhao's right arm, Smith instantly understood that he wasn't a regular guy. Let me see how many you can swallow. Die. This time, he released a dozen spirits. Chen Zhao cursed inwardly. Just how many evil spirits did this asshole control? Chen Zhao controlled the mouth of glutton to swallow these evil spirits. By now, he felt that the mouth of glutton was full. Apparently, it could get full too. It couldn't eat any more evil spirits. But Chen Zhao saw an even more terrifying scene. Countless evil spirits appeared behind Smith. Fuck. Without even thinking, Chen Zhao took out a bag of angelic crystals and shattered them. The countless evil spirits were already charging at him. He scattered the powder of the angelic crystals. Whoosh. The moment that the powder from the angelic crystals touched the hundreds of evil spirits, the entire sky lit up. It was like someone setting off fireworks. Like peeling silk from silkworms, threads of light flew out of the ignited evil spirits and went toward the mark on Chen Zhao's left palm. The feeling was weird. It wasn't painful or comfortable. At the same time, Smith's face was ashen. What else can you do? Do it all. Chen Zhao sneered at Smith. Smith wanted to escape again, but he suddenly heard a crack. Then Chen Zhao saw Smith's leg snap. He fell forward, hitting his head on the ground. Blood flowed out. Chen Zhao froze. No way. He couldn't just die like that, right? That was too easy, wasn't it? Chen Zhao still wanted to fight hundreds of more rounds. The cursed coin that had been embedded into Smith's palm fell off and rolled to Chen Zhao's feet. Chen Zhao was about to pick it up when he sensed desire from the mouth of glutton. Weren't you full earlier? Why do you want to eat again? Chen Zhao controlled the mouth of glutton. The desire to eat became more obvious when it appeared. The coin didn't seem like a good thing, so he had the mouth of glutton bite it. A few chomps later, the coin was completely digested. Blackie floated over. Looking at him, Chen Zhao said, Blackie, you were kind of slow this time. These evil spirits are unique. They're well preserved and very useful, so I imprisoned them. He looked at the soul fragments scattered on the ground. It's a pity that you exploded the angelic crystals. If only you could have delayed him more until I came over. By the time you got here, I would have been ripped apart. Chen Zhao didn't think he could have survived before so many evil spirits. Blackie was still looking around, picking up the fragments. These pieces would evaporate with time, so he couldn't find many. However, Chen Zhao noticed that the surrounding grass was growing crazily at a speed visible to the naked eye. Blackie, do soul fragments help plants grow? It probably isn't the soul fragments. I never heard that they could help plants grow. Then what's going on? It could be the angelic crystals, Blackie said. Demonic crystals are effective toward demons, animals, and humans, basically everything that has blood and flesh. Perhaps angelic crystals are effective toward plants. You skipped yourself. Demonic crystals are useful for you too. Let's find time to experiment and we'll know. Before this, Chen Zhao had angelic crystals but had very limited research. He only knew that it could counter demons. Now, it seemed that angelic crystals weren't so useless. Plus, they'd destroyed so many evil spirits this time. It should have produced some angelic crystals. Blackie, do you know what's with that guy? This should be a demonic badge left by ancient demons. What's the effect? It should be the cursed coin, Blackie said. The cursed coin has two sides, luck and bad luck. Luck is always for itself and bad luck is for the others. After touching the coin, it'll absorb the other's luck or fortune and have the victim get attacked by bad luck. Your car accident earlier and getting hit by the streetlight were all examples. If the cursed coin can suck away other people's luck, how come he fell to his death himself? I guessed the general idea. The cursed coin will preserve the souls of the victims. No matter if it's luck or bad luck, it's all related to the victim. Even if they become spirits, their luck will still be preserved. You purified so many souls, which also took away his luck. When his luck disappeared, it brought to him his worst fate. What about this mark? Will it be stuck on my hand forever? No. Nothing is forever. Even luck and bad luck will disappear one day. It's the same for this mark. Plus, the cursed coin has disappeared completely. It won't affect you at all. When I destroyed the evil spirits earlier, I think some light threads went into the mark. Do you know what that was? No. Chen Zhao squeezed his shoulders. It seemed like he'd taken Smith out easily today. However, it wasn't easy at all. He was injured. Of course, it was due to the bad luck and not the enemy's attacks. Chen Zhao didn't dare to imagine what troubles he'd face in the coming days if he didn't catch up to Smith. It's even possible that he could choke on alcohol and die. Suddenly, he heard a woman crying for help. Chapter 287, Permanently Disabled. Chapter 287, Permanently Disabled. Chen Zhao knew the lady. It was Lucy. At the moment, she was being pressed onto the ground by a few men, the upper part of her dress already torn apart. Chen Zhao did not know why Lucy was alone here at this hour. Nevertheless, he did what a man should do. Chen Zhao charged forward and kicked away the man who was about to leap at Lucy. Fuck. Kill this fucking Asian, one of the gangsters shouted. However, he immediately received a punch in the face which knocked him out. In just over 10 seconds, the 4 gangsters were all half unconscious. Chen Zhao helped Lucy to get up. Should we call the police? There were still tear marks on Lucy's face. She quietly tidied her dress. I'm a star. If this gets exposed, I would have to leave Hollywood, Lucy said in a very calm tone as she stared at Chen Zhao. Nonetheless, she looked somewhat fragile. Her face was filled with tear marks and her hair was rather messy. Her left cheek was red, probably caused by a slap. Her dress was already torn, with one of the slings broken. Even the hemline was damaged. There were also bruises on her body due to contact with the ground. Chen Zhao looked at the 4 people on the ground and approached them. Ah! 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 Chen Zhao permanently disabled them. Let me walk you back. I remember you don't live far away, Chen Zhao said. Lucy nodded in silence. Chen Zhao did not ask her any questions and only walked with her quietly. Lucy seemed to be stumbling. Chen Zhao lowered his head and realized that one of her high-heeled shoes was broken. Chen Zhao removed his own shoes. Wear these. Lucy looked at Chen Zhao and hesitated for a moment. Thank you. When they arrived at Lucy's house, Chen Zhao gave her a small can of ointment. Apply it to your face. Do you bring it with you all the time? Lucy smiled gently, but her smile looked very forced. I'm a doctor, Chen Zhao explained. Do you want to come in? No, I should leave now. Lucy looked at Chen Zhao's back. Chen. Thank you. Don't walk alone at night again. Chen Zhao did not turn around. He only sympathized with Luce's predicament. Indeed, he would have shown up regardless of who the lady was. When Chen Zhao returned home, it was already over 10. Farley had just gotten out of bed to get some water when she saw Chen Zhao. "Chen, why are you all dirty?" Chen Zhao walked to the bedroom door and looked inside. "Is Faith asleep?" "Yes." Chen Zhao closed the door. "Farley, let's take a bath in the swimming pool." "You can't even hold it for one night?" Farley stared at Chen Zhao, speechless. Ignoring Farley's objection, Chen Zhao carried her and walked toward the pool. "Wait, I'm still in my pajamas." Splash. Chen Zhao had already jumped into the pool with Farley, who was still resisting. "Asshole, my pajamas are wet." The phone rang. Chen Zhao looked at the time. It had only just passed 7 in the morning. He had been sleeping on the sofa, while Farley and Faith slept in the bedroom. "Hello. Chen, it's me, Movich." "Mr. Movich, do you know what time it is now?" "I know I must have woken you up. I'm very sorry." "What is it?" "Chen, have you thought of a way to heal me?" "Not yet." Chen Zhao also had a headache. "Please, you must help me. I don't want to stay here forever." As Movich spoke, he started to cry. Chen Zhao did not know how to comfort Movich. Without thinking, he said, "Don't worry. I'll definitely solve your problem in 10 days. Movich immediately stopped crying and asked in delight, "Really?" Chen Zhao regretted his words. It was too firm a promise. However, it was too late now. If Chen Zhao broke his promise, Movich would be even more desperate. Just then, Chen Zhao saw Winnip and Laurent standing outside, waving at him. "I'll call you when I have a solution. Bye." Chen Zhao hung up and went to open the door. "Winnip, Laurent, why are you here so early? Why did you sleep on the sofa? Were you chased out of the room by Farley yesterday?" Winnip asked curiously. "Did you argue with each other? And now you're going to break up?" Laurent asked excitedly. "Dell's daughter slept here, so I could only sleep on the sofa," Chen Zhao sighed. "You're more caring than I thought." Winnip nodded in satisfaction. Chen Zhao felt that sleeping on the sofa last night was totally worth it, now that he had received Winnip's recognition. Anyway, he had done everything last night. "Winnip, your standard for caring is too low," Laurent said, displeased. "At least he's better than you. When Farley and 4 were only 3 months, you were still sleeping like a dead pig." Laurent did not deny it. Chen Zhao was used to ignoring Laurent long ago. No matter what Chen Zhao did, Laurent would not be happy. Chen Zhao might as well please Winnip. After all, Winnip was the real decision-maker. "Is Farley still sleeping?" Chen Zhao looked at the time. Farley should be waking up soon. Indeed, after a short while, Farley also woke up. "Dad, Mom, morning." "Farley, we're leaving," Winnip said. "You're going home already? Why don't you stay here for a bit longer?" "It's all Winnip. She said that there are a lot of things waiting for her to settle." Laurent loved his daughters and he was also retired. Clearly he wanted to play in Los Angeles for a few more days. Unfortunately, Winnip still had work to settle. They had to leave. Chen Zhao and Farley sent Winnip and Laurent to the airport. Laurent pulled Chen Zhao to the side and threatened fiercely, "Kid, I suggest you quickly break up with Farley. If I see you again next time, I'll throw you into the sea and feed the sharks," Chen Zhao answered. "Although I'm retired now, I still know many political figures. I'll get you in jail. I'll throw you into the sea and feed the sharks. I'm not joking with you. I'll find a gang to kill you. I'll throw you into the sea and feed the sharks. Is that the only sentence you know? Then I'll throw you in a desert." Winnip, Laurent and bodyguards A, B and C left. Farley glanced at Chen Zhao. "What did you say to my dad?" He was almost mad. "Nothing. I only told him that I'll bring him out to play again next time, but he doesn't like the places I suggested." Chapter 288 Hardy Life Depends on Peace Not. Chapter 288 Hardy Life Depends on Peace Not. "I'll take you to Angel Beach," Chen Zhao said. Farley didn't drive, so Chen Zhao brought her from the airport to the Coastal Rescue Team's office. Along the way, he got a call. It was Zola. "Chen, there's a show at my company tomorrow night. Do you want to come?" "What show?" "The fashion show for my company's new products. You can come with your girlfriend." Chen Zhao thought for a bit. He wasn't interested in fashion shows. After all, he didn't understand that kind of fashion. He'd rather watch Victoria's Secret. However, he didn't know if Farley was interested. Turning, he asked, "Farley, my friend has a fashion show tomorrow. She invited us. Do you want to go?" "Sure." Women would always be women. They couldn't resist things about clothes. Farley answered without hesitation and asked, "But we have to dress formally for that kind of event, right? Should I go dress shopping with you tonight?" "Sure." "Chen, Odutra is imprisoned here," Caprice called Chen Zhao. "When do you want to visit him?" Chen Zhao remembered Odutra. Originally, he thought it would take half a year for Odutra to be put through trial and be imprisoned. He didn't expect it to take less than a month. He's in prison so soon? Chen Zhao asked doubtfully. He's a top criminal. The court doesn't feel confident if he's only detained. Plus, his crime and evidence are all clear, so the LA court quickly gave him a sentence. How long is it? For life and without parole. Is there a possibility for him to come out? Technically, yes, Caprice said. But if you're worried that he'll come out in 30 or 40 years and take revenge on you, there's no need. He won't live that long. The average criminal could live a few decades in prison if they didn't do anything stupid. However, Odutra was a gang leader. He had more rivals than followers. Would his rivals let him be released? Plus, his men probably wanted him to die in prison, right? Odutra had planned on gang-raping Farley that night. Chen Zhao would never let him go so easily. After all, he'd disabled 4 rapists just last night. This was just the basic punishment. Odutra would definitely get something more. You guys help me think. What is very painful but won't have any visible signs? Master, Carrie said. I have a good friend who's a painful torturer. She's amazing at torturing souls. Is she in hell right now? Yes. You just have to kill your enemy and have his soul go to hell. Chen Zhao shook his head. Killing his enemy felt nice, but it was too costly. It could affect Caprice too. Human, Raymond said. I thought of an idea. What idea? Let me give him great sexual desire, hey, Raymond said while snickering. He had a good idea, but this couldn't satisfy Chen Zhao. Not enough. This is just appetizer, at most. Make him never be able to feel full, Beelzebub added. Make him feel starved forever. Still a bit lacking. Keep thinking. Why are you making it complicated? Blackie asked. Why can't you just use what you did to Philip Quinn? No, that's too obvious. Chen Zhao declined the suggestion. Philip Quinn's case was too unique. If another case came up, it would be easily connected to him. Then, I'll learn a spell. Oh, what about the age spell? Chen Zhao's eyes brightened. Which of you know age? No. 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 Chen Zhao was speechless. None of you? The effect is too low for demons. There's no point in learning it, so no demon would go learn it. Is the effect that weak? Humans have no resistance against magic, so age can make them die from old age within 30 days. Beelzebub, who in your territory knows the spell? Chen Zhao had the demonic ritual implements of many inferior demons of Beelzebub's territory. He thought that if he was lucky, one of them would know age. I don't know. I don't care about those lowly bastards. Chen Zhao wanted to kick Beelzebub. He only knew how to say useless words but couldn't do anything he was asked to. I have an idea, Blackie said. Feel free to speak up. We're not very familiar with curses, but I know necromancer spells. And then, in necromancing, there's a type of marrow-eating insect. The host loses as much vitality as the insect sucks away. Are they easy to discover? There's a possibility they'll be discovered with X-ray because they're visible to the naked eye, but they can be taken out. Chen Zhao had to learn how to summon the marrow-eating insects though. Blackie couldn't hurt living creatures directly, not even a horribly sinful criminal. Chen Zhao thought and then called Caprice. Caprice, I'm not ready yet. I need a few days to prepare. What are you planning? Obviously something that can take revenge without hurting you or me, Chen Zhao said matter-of-factly. There's more than enough time, Caprice said. No hurries. After hanging up, Chen Zhao drove to Ethan's motel. Ethan's clients for Chen Zhao had decreased dramatically, but they were all big cases. Ethan must have chosen them specifically because he knew Chen Zhao needed money. Of course, he would also earn much more. Auntie Lee, where's Ethan? When Chen Zhao entered, he saw Li Qing standing behind the front desk. Li Qing looked at him and her brows furrowed. Mr. Chen, where's your peace knot? It's in my wallet. Chen Zhao took out his wallet but discovered that the peace knot was untied. Hey, what happened? It was still fine yesterday. Mr. Chen, did you run into danger yesterday? Chapter 289, Disease that can defeat Wright. Chapter 289, Disease that can defeat Wright. It was the first time Chen Zhao observed Li Qing so carefully. Li Qing bit her lower lip and looked rather reluctant to speak. Auntie Li, is the piece not special? Chen Zhao stared at Li Qing. After thinking, Li Qing said, Mr. Chen, I'll make another one for you later. Is the piece not very difficult to make? Not really. It just takes some time. Li Qing smiled. By the way, Ethan went out to play. I don't think he'll be back today. Did he say where he was going? No. All right, Chen Zhao sighed. Auntie Li, I'm leaving. Be careful out there. If you run into trouble again, tell me. I can't do much, but I can at least try to think of a solution with you. Sure. Auntie Li, thank you, Chen Zhao nodded. Chen Zhao drove his car, deep in thought. Just then, his phone rang again. Hi, Chen, it's Wright. Yes. Are you free now? Yup. Are you unwell? Yes. I'm not sure. I just feel weak, Wright said. I'm worried that I might have gotten ALS. Chen Zhao frowned. ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis and is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. It is a very troublesome illness. At the moment, it cannot be cured. Even cancer has a small chance of full recovery. Sometimes, it can be removed physically. However, ALS is really incurable. Chen Zhao could only pray that it was not ALS. Right, have you gotten a checkup? No. I don't dare to go. There were not many things that could scare Wright. Even when she had cancer, she continued to stay by herself. She was not scared of death, or rather she was not beaten by cancer. However, the thought of having ALS really frightened her. Chen Zhao had seen ALS patients before. It is really a terrifying disease. Many ALS patients would rather die than live in that state. Nonetheless, it was good news that Wright had not done a checkup. She merely suspected the disease. Given Wright's age, she was probably just scaring herself. Many common elderly diseases would also cause muscle weakness. It is very normal. Chen Zhao went to the supermarket and bought a bottle of red wine, after which he went straight to Ukla. When Chen Zhao found Wright, he realized that she was still giving a lecture. Chen Zhao even saw Diana and Eve Lee in the lecture room. He quietly walked in from the side and found himself an empty seat. When the lecture ended, Diana and Eve Lee approached him. Diana was delighted to see Chen Zhao. Chen, are you here to find me? And you have red wine too. Great. We can have a candle dinner. Sorry. I'm not here for you, Diana, Chen Zhao said, speechless. I'm waiting for Wright. The wine is for her as well. Just then, Wright had also finished packing her lecture materials. She looked at Diana and Eve Lee. Ladies, excuse me please. Fine. If it's Ms. Wright, I'll quit. Diana smiled. Chen, come and find me next time. Diana waved her hand and left with Eve Lee. Let's go to my office, Wright said. Wright brought Chen Zhao to her office and then locked the door. Chen, can you do a checkup for me? Chen Zhao nodded and started the examination. Where are you experiencing the weakness? Left arm. Chen Zhao held Wright's arm. Contract your muscles. Chen Zhao pressed Wright's arm again. Wright cooperated with the checkup very well. What have you been eating recently? Today, a sandwich for breakfast, and a medium steak for lunch. Have you been contacting Ethan? I'm not contacting that asshole. Chen Zhao smiled. Right, I can guarantee you that it's not ALS. Really? Wright was relaxed at once. Yes. You probably just have muscle fatigue due to too much stress. If you're still worried, you can go to a hospital, but you should get the same conclusion. Chen Zhao found out what Wright had been eating recently. The early symptoms of ALS normally include difficulty chewing and swallowing, and slurred speech. However, Wright's meals and words were all very normal. She showed no symptoms of ALS, so she was probably just scaring herself. Wright, bring this bottle of wine back and finish it all at once. Wright looked at Chen Zhao, confused. Please, I have mild high blood sugar. I can't drink a bottle of wine all at once. Are you trying to kill me? If you can't finish it, remember to pour the rest away, Chen Zhao said with a serious tone. Can you promise me that? Wright looked at the red wine. It was a very ordinary one bought from a supermarket. However, Chen Zhao seemed to have opened it already. Wright looked at Chen Zhao. Is there something special with the wine? It can make you healthier. If you trust me, do what I told you, all right? Why must I pour it away if I can't finish it? So that we won't get into trouble. Don't let anyone else drink it. All right. Wright rubbed her forehead. I'm indeed quite stressed, now that I'm the principal. This could be an opportunity for me to rest. You're the principal? Chen Zhao asked in surprise. Yeah. Brewster fell to death due to an elevator accident, and then I was chosen to be the principal. I should congratulate you. It's a tough job. Just 2 days ago, 2 ladies, tricksters, came here. They said Brewster had hired them as special safety consultants and demanded that we pay them their salary of $10,000, Wright said. And then? Of course I chased them away, Wright said. They also said that they would curse me to lie on a bed forever. Chen Zhao did not know whether to cry or laugh. I think I know the 2 tricksters you're talking about. Huh? Are they your friends? Yes, and they're not tricksters. In fact, I was present when Brewster hired them. Brewster also did promise them a monthly salary of $10,000. Special safety consultant? What exactly does it mean? You may not believe it, but they're supernatural event experts, Chen Zhao said, rubbing his nose. Wright stared at Chen Zhao, as if she had just seen a ghost. Are you serious? I know it's hard to believe, but it's the fact. Remember how the abandoned college building used to have many accidents? Yes, Wright nodded. They were hired by Brewster to solve the problem in that building. Chen, are you sure Brewster promised it himself? I can promise you that. It's real. So they're not tricksters? No. Chapter 290 Work at University. Chapter 290 Work at University. Okay, I'll call them over and have a good chat with them, Wright said. Oh, do you have their numbers? Yes, wait a minute. Sienna, Chris, come to UCLA. I'm in the principal's office. A while later, Sienna and Chris arrived. When they saw Wright, their eyes burned with anger. I think there's been a misunderstanding between you all. Chen Zhao acted like a peacemaker. Since I know about this now, I hope the misunderstanding can be resolved. Mrs., I apologize for my brashness earlier. I prepared this just for you too. Wright handed a check to Chen Zhao, who gave it to Sienna and Chris. Seeing it, Sienna's expression softened quite a lot. I forgive you, but do you still need us as special safety consultants? Sienna said, pocketing the check. You can lower our salary a bit. Sienna's biggest characteristic was that she needed money. She really needed money. Her appetite grew bigger, especially after taking in a girl who ate tons. Not currently. Even though Chen Zhao had promised, Wright was an ardent philosophical materialist. She wasn't willing to believe in the supernatural. She gave this check only because of Bruce's promise. All right. I hope you save my card though. You can call us whenever you need us. Wright accepted the card. Sienna and Chris didn't plan on dallying here. They'd gotten such a large amount of money and wanted to celebrate. Sienna, wait. I need to talk to you. Chen Zhao turned toward Wright. Excuse me. Chen Zhao and Sienna walked outside. He looked at Sienna. Did you curse, Wright? Just a weak curse. It'll disappear in a few days. Don't do it again. I don't care if you curse other people, but Wright is already so old. Plus, she's my friend. I didn't know she's your friend, Sienna refuted. To be honest, they both had their own perspectives. Neither was right or wrong. However, Sienna's curse really scared Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao returned to the office. Wright looked at him with a slight smile. What's their relationship with you? Didn't I tell you? They're my friends. Nothing more. No. I have a girlfriend. What about Diana and Eve Lee? Please, I have even less of a relationship with them. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. Really? Why would I hide from you? Fine, I'll trust you for now. Wright wasn't an old-fashioned person. Her mindset was quite open. Plus, she had a good impression of Chen Zhao and even saw him as her kid. Chen, come work here. You can teach whatever you want. When Wright had invited Chen Zhao before, she'd also been confident, but Chen Zhao would have only been a lecturer at most. It was different now. She was the principal and could make most decisions directly. I don't have time to teach, Chen Zhao said. You can just put your name in. How about that? Sure. Chen Zhao thought for a moment. There weren't any negatives, so he could just have a title. What major do you want to teach? Traditional Chinese medicine, Chen Zhao said. He at least had the confidence to talk about this in a classroom. Wright didn't doubt him at all and agreed easily. As soon as Chen Zhao left the office, Tiger walked over. When Tiger saw him, his steps faltered. However, Chen Zhao didn't do anything. Tiger gathered his courage and walked past Chen Zhao, entering Wright's office. A while later, Tiger came out. He was clearly more relaxed. He saw that Chen Zhao hadn't gotten far, so he ran over. Sir. Chen Zhao turned around. Yes. I'm sorry about what happened last time. I apologize for my actions. Chen Zhao didn't think that this aggressive-looking big guy would voluntarily apologize. It's okay. He'd beaten Tiger up badly last time. Chen Zhao thought that the lesson was already deep enough. There was no need to be hung up on it. The conflict hadn't been some deep rivalry hatred. As the saying went, there were no walls that wind couldn't get through. Many times, the cheating woman would be the one who personally dug a hole. Only an idiot would believe a woman when she said that she wouldn't let others know about their relationship. Diana, I love my girlfriend, Chen Zhao said. Diana's face finally fell. Tears filled her eyes. But I love you too. Please, we've only met 3 times. You said you loved me the first time. Diana, you're a great girl, Chen Zhao said softly. You'll find someone better than me. It was Chen Zhao's first time saying that cliched line. Diana wiped her tears as she left. Chen Zhao felt a little bad, but he couldn't let these things continue. It was best to make things clear early on. A while later, Eve Lee came over. A group of university students followed her, mostly girls. Hi, Eve Lee. What a coincidence. Chen Zhao's smile was a bit forced. Did Eve Lee come to stop him? Did you bully Diana? Eve Lee looked at him coldly. No, you misunderstood. Diana came back saying that you dumped her. We've never dated. How could I dump her? So you bullied her. Can we be reasonable here? Why should I reason with you? Eve Lee, I'm a professor here now. You know there are grave consequences for beating up professors, right? Eve Lee sneered at him. Sorry, I'm not afraid. But are they willing to be punished with you? Chen Zhao pointed at the students behind her. Some of the ones behind Eve Lee indeed showed signs of retreat. They were mostly guys too. Instead, the girls all had murderous looks. If you're a man, you won't hide under your title as a professor. Even if you beat up a student or a regular person, you'll still get punished. If you're a man, You'll accept the challenge. Stop joking. You have dozens of people and I'm alone. Why should I accept your challenge? And what the heck is this challenge? It's the rule of the youth society. What? Our club, Evely said. Chapter 291 Youth Society. Chapter 291 Youth Society. What if I don't accept your challenge? Then you shall never step into Uckler again. Also, I know which car is yours. If you don't want your tires to be punctured, you better accept the challenge. What's the challenge? We'll choose 5 sports students, and you'll compete with them in their strongest sports. If you can win 3 rounds, we'll ignore what you have done. If you lose, you have to apologize to Diana. All right. Choose 5 people then. I want boxing, Sansu, taekwondo, judo, and wrestling. Chen Zhao glanced at the students. He was confident that he could defeat even the strongest of them. However, Evely shook her finger. No, not fighting. Diana said that you even defeated Tiger. None of us can defeat Tiger, so we're definitely no match for you. Hearing Evely's words, the students behind her all took 2 steps back uncontrollably. Luckily, they did not fight Chen Zhao directly, or many of them would be injured by now. Tiger was famous in the college. He was a rising star in professional boxing. Those students who originally intended to beat Chen Zhao gave up their plan. Bob, come out, Evely shouted. A very tall student walked out. Evely, you're not going to ask me to fight him, are you? I can't fight. Of course not. Didn't you hear what I said? Use your strength to defeat him. Bob's eyes brightened. Are you sure he'll compete with me in long jump? Evely looked at Chen Zhao. Do you dare to compete with him? Aren't you bullying me? His limbs are so long. How could I possibly win? This is youth society's rule. It's bad for me to lose, and I also gain nothing by winning. Why should I accept the challenge? How about a bet? Chen Zhao smiled. He felt that it was really satisfying to deceive these students' money. You want to bet money? Are you sure? Of course. I had sports lessons in primary school too, Chen Zhao said in a serious tone. It's not funny. Evely stared at Chen Zhao with a cold look. What are you thinking? In Evely's opinion, there was no way Chen Zhao could win. She only came here to vent her anger because of what Chen Zhao had done to Diana. In addition, she also set up the challenge in a way that Chen Zhao could not possibly win. Didn't you come here to see me lose? Now I accept it. Everyone, come and place your bets. Chen Zhao took out $1,000. You're Bob. We're going to compete in the long jump, right? If you bet 2 and win, this is yours. Bob was also stunned. He was a long jumper and Chen Zhao was forcing him to bet on their competition. What? Is he an idiot? Chen Zhao was not short, only when compared to the common man. Bob was 1.95 meters tall and had the standard track or long jump build. Chen Zhao already lost, because his shape was not even suitable for long jump. Bob might even achieve a better result doing a standing long jump than Chen Zhao sprinting and jumping. Bet with him. Evely gave a cold humph. We have no reason to reject free money. I don't have that much money with me. 1,000 was not a small amount for a student. Indeed, most students present did not have that much money. I do, Evely said. Meanwhile, she took out a card and gave it to another female student. Go and draw 1,000 for me. The password is, let's go to the stadium. Chen Zhao followed the group of students to the sandpit in the stadium. Evely looked at Chen Zhao and Bob. Which of you first? Evely asked. Him. Oh. Everyone thought that Chen Zhao was scared to lose. With his thick skin, Chen Zhao did not mind them at all. Bob, you go first. Bob did not care since their difference was so big. He could jump further than Chen Zhao even with his eyes closed. Bob walked back for about 50 meters. Sprinting was allowed for long jump. Of course, the distance could not be too long. If someone wanted to run a marathon's distance before the long jump, he would probably be sent to the mental hospital first. Bob started running, sprinting. Long jumpers were all excellent sprinters too. When Bob's speed reached its maximum, he kicked hard on the ground. Puff! He landed. A student went up to check the result. 7.12 meters. It was an outstanding result, close to that of a professional long jumper. Panting slightly, Bob approached Chen Zhao. Chapter 292, Chatter Endlessly. Chapter 292, Chatter Endlessly. Are you done or not? Evely yelled. Wait, I'm collecting money. Oh, what's your name? Chen Zhao was taking notes. Pete. Okay, Pete, $200. If you lose, you'll pay us all, right? Of course. You have so many people. I won't even dare to not pay up, right? He collected more than $1,000. No one else made bets, so he put the money away. He retreated to 30 meters away, jogged, sprinted, and jumped. He created an arc in the air and landed steadily in the sand. 7.51 meters. Everyone stared at him dumbfounded. No one moved. No way. You're cheating. Evely couldn't figure this out, so she reflexively thought that Chen Zhao was cheating. It wasn't possible under everyone's scrutiny though. Did you step on the line? Go look. The line was drawn in white paint. It was easy to see if he stepped on the line or not. It's also possible that you crossed the line, Evely insisted, unwilling to accept reality. Okay, cheating like this is boring. I won, right? Bob's expression was down. He lost. He really lost. He'd lost to an average Asian man who was 15 centimeters shorter than himself. Wait, I don't accept defeat. Bob suddenly yelled. Since we're going with the official rules, I have another chance. Chen shrugged and made an inviting gesture. As you wish. He sat on the side and started counting the wad of cash. Seeing how annoying he was, everyone wanted to beat him up. Bob jumped again and got 7.42 meters, still not surpassing Chen Zhao's record. He sat in the sand, unwilling to get up. He was too hurt. The other students had no time to comfort him either. They were all provoked by Chen Zhao. After counting the money, Chen Zhao was satisfied. Not bad, $2,120. Thanks, Evely. Evely clenched her jaw and looked at him. Her eyes were filled with a dangerous red light. The next challenge is a 10K meter run. Do you dare? Anyone take bets? Chen Zhao asked. Hearing this, Evely felt angry for some reason. Wright, you're up. Wright was a slim African American, but when he took his jacket off, everyone saw his lean muscles. He was the type that looked skinny with clothes on and muscular without. Wright. Evely called. Don't lose to him. Evely, don't worry. I won't lose to an amateur. As he spoke, he also glanced at Bob. It seemed that they had conflicts too. How about 5K? Chen Zhao asked with a worried expression. 10,000 meters is too much. I don't even know if I can do it. No choice. You either stand at the starting line or surrender. No one's going to bet. There's no commotion. Listless, Chen Zhao continued. Plus, I just finished jumping. I feel so tired. I need to rest. Wait for half an hour. Rest for half an hour? No way. Get up and run right now. No, I'm tired. I bet $2,000, Evely said through clenched teeth. Chen Zhao stood up immediately. Anyone else want to bet? Pete, who'd lost $200 earlier, walked over hesitantly. You'll lose this time, right? Please, Asians are horrible at track. Plus, do I look like a professional? I might not even do 5K. Fine, I'll bet $200 more. Pete made a difficult decision and took out $200. That much? Chen Zhao furrowed his brows. Not allowed. I'm afraid I won't be able to pay with what I just earned, Chen Zhao said reluctantly. I'm betting too. Me too, $100. As expected, these kids were still too naive. The pieces Chen Zhao got added up to $1,200. Taking off his jacket, he pushed up his sleeves and did some warm-up exercises. Go get ready. Wright has been waiting. Chen Zhao unwillingly went to the starting line and looked at Wright. Hey, how about you go easy on me? If I win, I'll give you half of the money. Wright looked at him coldly. Don't even think about it. Fine. Evely held up the pistol. Get ready, stop talking. She really wanted to aim at Chen Zhao and shoot him in the head. Bang! Chen Zhao and Wright started at the same time. Chen Zhao ran shoulder to shoulder with Wright, matching his pace. Wright sneered. Running with him? Didn't Chen Zhao know how fit he was? Wright could keep this speed for the first 3,000 meters. This didn't mean others could. Long-distance running was a strategic sport. If you had a good strategy that suited your characteristics, you would get a good result. If you used the wrong strategy, you might not even be able to run 10k meters. Go Wright! Go Wright! All the students were cheering for Wright. This excited him, but after 2 laps, he realized that Chen Zhao was still beside him. He got an idea: trick Chen Zhao. Thinking of this, Wright sped up. As expected, Chen Zhao sped up too. Wright snickered inside. Chen Zhao was an amateur and was easily tricked. If he was a professional athlete, he definitely wouldn't be affected by other athletes and change his strategy. But after 3 laps at the increased speed, Chen Zhao was still stuck to Wright. He wasn't left behind at all. On the other hand, Wright had disturbed his own strategy and his energy went down. It was okay though. Wright thought that Chen Zhao wouldn't be able to keep it up. Maybe he'd be exhausted next lap or the one after that. Are you tired? Should we stop and rest? Wright ignored Chen Zhao. Talking now was basically suicide. Oh, so tired. I think I'm going to lay down. Chen Zhao was still talking endlessly. Can you check if my hair is messed up? He fixed his hairstyle as he ran. Wright almost laughed in anger. I think after 2 laps, no, 1 lap, I'll be down. Chen Zhao's breaths grew heavy. How do you do it? Why is your breathing still so smooth? Have you been to China? If you have a chance, you must go. It's a great place. Oh, I saw on TV. Before that you can drink water during a race, right? That's a marathon. Wright finally couldn't help but answer. You finally spoke. I thought you're mute. You're mute. Your whole family is mute. Wright ignored Chen Zhao. Why hadn't this asshole given up yet? Didn't he say he'd give up in another lap? Chapter 293, Showing Off. Chapter 293, Showing Off. The two had already run 25 laps, or 5,000 meters. Even the onlooking students could not stand anymore. They were sitting on the ground. Of course, Chen Zhao and Wright were still running on the track. Chen Zhao was still talking incessantly, while Wright was already exhausted. His pace had been completely disrupted by Chen Zhao. Actually, he should have slowed down after 3,000 meters to conserve his stamina. However, he forgot to slow down due to Chen Zhao's voice. Bastard, can you shut up? Wright finally erupted. You don't want to hear me speak? Fine, I'll stay away from you. Chen Zhao suddenly sped up. Wright was left behind. He was surprised that Chen Zhao actually still had the stamina to accelerate. Moreover, Chen Zhao's speed was very fast. Was he sprinting with his last bit of energy? It was still more than 4,000 meters away from the finishing line. Sprinting so quickly would only kill him faster. However, after a while, Wright heard Chen Zhao's voice from behind. What a coincidence. We meet again. Chen Zhao ran alongside Wright once again. Wright stared at Chen Zhao in puzzlement, after which he turned to look at the audience. Did he take a shortcut? Evely shook her head. In fact, all the students saw Chen Zhao actually run 1 more lap than Wright. That is to say, as long as Chen Zhao could persist until the end, he would win. Everyone's face turned pale. They were going to lose money again. Indeed, their worry came true. Wright suddenly collapsed onto the ground and foam flowed out from his mouth. Chen Zhao immediately stopped to check his condition. Then, he waved his hand at the other students. He originally thought that Wright would at least be able to finish the 10,000-meter race. He was trained in this, after all. Chen Zhao did not expect Wright to collapse when there were still 10 laps left. Luckily, Wright was only severely dehydrated. Chen Zhao approached Eve Li and smiled. I win this, right? I thought you can't even run 5,000 meters. I outperformed myself today, but can you please find a more professional one next time? Chen Zhao said with a bright smile. Chen Zhao was not panting at all. He clearly did not look like he could only run 5,000 meters. What a lovely day. I won again. Chen Zhao started counting the money again. Eve Li almost went mad. She had never met such an obnoxious person before. The eyes of those students who had lost their money all grew red. Shameless. Despicable. Eve Li stared at Chen Zhao in anger. You've been hiding your true capacities. How? Since when? You're actually good at long-distance running and long jump. And then? I told you I practiced long jump in primary school, and I also said I'm unsure if I can run 10,000 meters. What am I hiding? You're just being unreasonable. Alright, let's start the third round. This whole thing will be over if I win again, right? What are we competing next? Let's do it quick. Eve Li turned her head and stared at the other students. Most of them tried to avoid her look. They were not confident that they could win Chen Zhao anymore. No one knew what Chen Zhao was good at. If they were beaten by an outsider in their strongest field, it would really be embarrassing. Chen Zhao looked at Eve Li and then at the other students. Does the college not have a single person who's good at sports? Don't you feel humiliated to lose to an outsider twice in a row? All the students were triggered by Chen Zhao's words. They clenched their fists, their eyes burning with fury. I'll play basketball with you. Street basketball, another tall student shouted. Chen Zhao glanced at him. Buddy, you know that some forms of physical contact are allowed in basketball, right? You better stop challenging me, unless you want to visit the hospital. Even though Chen Zhao was significantly shorter than the student, he still threatened bluntly. Tarek, forget it. Eve Li did not plan to get anyone injured. She knew that Chen Zhao had beaten Tiger up. Tiger was taller and stronger than Tarek, but he was still injured. If Tarek and Chen Zhao really played basketball, Chen Zhao might not win in terms of basketball skills. But he would definitely win the matchup, given his shamelessness. Therefore, they had to choose a sport that did not involve physical contact between players. Just then, another student walked out. He was not as big as Tiger. In fact, he was even shorter than Chen Zhao, but he was very, very muscular. I'll do it. Eve Li's eyes brightened. This is going to work. Harrison was the strongest man in the entire college. He was the champion of the National College weightlifting competition. Weighing 94 kilograms, he was the record holder of the competition for his weight category. His snatch record was 145 kilograms, and his clean and jerk record was 210 kilograms, which was already an Olympic standard. His snatch was slightly weaker. In fact, he had been practicing the snatch and was planning to sign up for the next Olympics. What is it? Wrestling. It was Chen Zhao's first impression of Harrison. Weightlifting, Harrison said. That's too much. How heavy is he, and how heavy am I? We're not even in the same weight category. You said yourself that all of us are even weaker than an outsider. What, are you scared now? Are you going to retreat? But we can't ignore the rules. I don't care. Unless you admit defeat and we go on to the next round. Admit defeat is not in my dictionary. Then you better add it now. Eve Li could finally heave a sigh of relief. At least Chen Zhao would lose once. She would enjoy mocking him afterward. Does anyone want to bet? I'm definitely going to lose. Immediately, Eve Li felt something was wrong. Given Chen Zhao's greedy nature, why would he continue to bet if he was not confident? But he can't possibly win. Chen Zhao was certainly not as muscular as Harrison. It was different from Bob and Wright. While they were much stronger than normal people, they were still weaker than professional athletes. Harrison was different. He had the standards of a professional athlete or even an Olympic athlete. Harrison, are you confident of winning? Of course, there's no way such a small guy can beat me. Harrison was very confident in his strength. You must win, Evely said. Of course. Leave it to me. Chapter 294, Surrender. Chapter 294, Surrender? Come on, consider it. Come bet again, Chen Zhao exclaimed. Pete, trust me. I'll definitely lose this round. Look at the difference in size. I'll definitely lose. Come on, place a bet. Motherfucker, you already won my pocket money for this month. Then, Miss Sunderland, come bet. Michelle, place a bet. Chen Zhao went through them all, but no one was willing to bet. Trust me one more time, all right? Everyone ignored him. Even if they thought that Chen Zhao couldn't win, they still weren't willing to place another bet. Oh, I don't have energy, Chen Zhao said weakly. I need a break. You're doing this again. Evely glared at him. No motivation. Chen Zhao sat down without spirit. I don't care. You're going up anyway. The bars were ready. A few students started putting on the weights. Harrison started testing. Okay, we can start, he said. First snatch, 140 kilograms. He picked up the weight without using much effort. 3 seconds later, it landed on the ground. Thud, thud, thud. The heavy sounds showed the weight of the bar. Want to try a heavier weight? Evely asked. Harrison loosened his shoulders. He hadn't used much power, so he felt like he was in a good state. Add 10 more kilograms. I'll do a snatch again. Second snatch, 150 kilograms. Harrison let out a roar and lifted the bar, pushing it above his head. 3, 2, 1. Success again. Take a break and try the clean and jerk, Evely said. She turned to Chen Zhao. Your turn. How much weight do you want? 200 kilograms. Chen Zhao grinned, face full of confidence. Are you sure? Of course. Snatch. Yes. Do you know the world record for your weight class? No. The world record for snatches in the 77 kilogram weight class is 173.5 kilograms, Harrison answered. I want to challenge the world record, Chen Zhao said matter-of-factly. Is there a problem? No. Go on. Chen Zhao went forward and stuck his butt up. Ha! The bar moved. Everyone got goosebumps at that moment. He was so strong. The bar was 10 millimeters off the ground. Evely widened her eyes. Could he really lift it? Could he break the world record? The next moment, the bar returned to the ground. He couldn't lift it. I surrender. Chen Zhao shrugged and left the zone coolly. I knew it. Evely was about to spit out blood. For a moment, she thought that Chen Zhao really could create a miracle. You can lose too. She finally got a chance to mock Chen Zhao. Tell me what the next round is, Chen Zhao said. Evely's eyes turned and she smiled. Arm wrestling. With who? Still Harrison. What? How can you do that? You're bullying. Chen Zhao freaked out. Ha, you can surrender like last time, Evely said proudly. She was proud of her smarts. Let's bet. Anyone want to bet? Evely was speechless. This guy started a bet when he could win and still did so when he knew he would lose. She didn't understand Chen Zhao's mind. As expected, Pete was the first to run to Chen Zhao. I'll bet $300. Pete, didn't you say that you're broke? I borrowed it, Pete answered. $300, write it down so you don't forget. I'll bet $2. I'll bet $2. Me too, $100. Chen Zhao had thought that he'd sucked them all dry. He didn't think that there was still so much left. This time, he'd made $3,000. Wait, I want to bet too, Evely said. If you want. Chen Zhao glanced at him. Don't bet too much. It's just for fun. $3,000, do you dare take it? You want me to die? You started the bet. It's not my fault. Can it be a little less? No. Chen Zhao clenched his jaw. If you dare bet, then I'll dare to accept. Can I bet that I'll win? Harrison asked. Of course. Chen Zhao nodded. I bet $500. Just then, Someone walked into the gym. Chen Zhao turned to look. Normans, it's you? Chen, how come you're here? Normans was shocked too. She didn't think she could meet Chen Zhao here. Normans. Evely immediately walked over to say hi. It seemed that they were friends. How did you know that we're here? I went to the youth society's place and they said that you're all at the gym, Norman said. Right, what are you guys playing? Him. Evely said. He bullied our sister, so we're punishing him now. Punishing him? Normans looked at him with a strange gaze. Chen Zhao greeted her with a grin. How many rounds have you lost? Normans asked. Normans, how did you know we lost? Are you familiar with him? This guy can swim dozens of kilometers in the sea or hundreds of laps in the pool, talking the entire time. He can run 2 marathons without stop. He's just a monster. It's most possible that you'll lose against him. Everyone was dumbfounded and turned to Chen Zhao. They really didn't imagine that this average-looking man would be so scary. We won a round and lost 2. Wow, you won a round? Normans looked at Chen Zhao. What's the 4th round? Normans, let me introduce you to Harrison. He's a future Olympic champion. He beat this asshole in weightlifting. Next, they'll compete in arm wrestling. The other students moved a table over, placing it before Chen Zhao and Harrison. Which arm are you best at? Harrison asked. Either. Chen Zhao shrugged. Then right arm. Sure, let's go. Chen Zhao and Harrison grasped each other's hand. Norman narrowed her eyes at Chen Zhao. She knew that he was very strong. He'd been able to lift her with 2 hands when she'd been at the peak of her weight. It had felt like it was easy for him too. Normans didn't think Harrison could win this match. Chapter 295, What's the point of winning a group of kids? Chapter 295, What's the point of winning a group of kids? Start. Ha! Harrison shouted. He held a table leg with his left hand and tried to move his right hand to the left with all his might. Heh! Have we started? Chen Zhao looked around him. Harrison, have you started? By then, Harrison's face was already red and all his arm muscles were bulging. On the other hand, Chen Zhao looked very relaxed. Moreover, he did not even hold a table leg with his left hand. Harrison, go! Chen Zhao shouted. Use more strength. You can do it. Everyone was speechless. Chen Zhao was cheering for Harrison as his opponent. Stop disturbing Harrison. Evely was the most nervous person. She was already extremely displeased with the current situation. Chen Zhao's words were piercing her ears. Fine, I won't disturb him anymore. Chen Zhao still looked very relaxed. Normans, how are you? Everyone was speechless again. It was too much. Chen Zhao stopped disturbing Harrison, but he started chatting with another person. On the other hand, Harrison had already used all his strength. Harrison, you can do it. For my pocket money this month, you have to win. Pete almost cried. What pocket money? Normans asked, confused. He asked us to bet on the outcome of each round. Normans was speechless. And then all of you bet that he loses. Everyone nodded. Normans was more speechless. This bastard's clearly playing them. And these kids all jumped into the trap one after another. Can you not be so naive? Anyhow, Normans was still surprised by Chen Zhao's strength. A weightlifter could not even make Chen Zhao tired with all his strength. Chen Zhao had not been serious since the start. His hand had been vertical, moving neither to the left nor to the right. Suddenly, Normans had an idea. She walked up and pulled Chen Zhao's hand to the left. However, Chen Zhao still did not move a bit. Evely, she's breaking the rule, right? You should chase her out. Evely also walked up to move Chen Zhao's hand. She did not believe that the 3 of them still could not win Chen Zhao. But it was the fact. Chen Zhao's arm did not move at all, as if it was a piece of iron fixed in place. Perhaps he already had enough fun. Chen Zhao suddenly used more strength. Bang! Yes, I won. I won, Chen Zhao shouted. Everyone looked at Chen Zhao in silence. Nobody cheered with him. Normans looked at Chen Zhao, speechless. What's the point of winning a group of kids? Return them their money. Why? I won the money. Do you know you can be sued for obtaining more than $1,000 by fraud? Normans threatened. Chen Zhao returned the money to the students, his face wet with tears. Nevertheless, all of them were too embarrassed to speak. They looked really dispirited. Chen Zhao picked up his jacket and carried his toolbox. All right, now you can't stop me anymore. While Eve Lee was unhappy, she could not do anything. All right, leave now. Normans clapped her hands as if she was the big sister. Finally, all the students except Eve Lee left. Normans, I see you've restored your shape. Yes. I remember 3 months ago, you were still. Eve Lee shivered at the thought of Norman's body at that time. It was a horrifying thought. Norman's had literally been a moving ball of flesh. Eve Lee even had a nightmare, where she became like that as well. If she really turned that fat, she would rather die. It's that asshole just now. He tortured me for a month, so I slimmed down, Norman said. He? Yes, it's that asshole. Do you even know? He threw me into the sea and I was chased by a killer whale. Can you even imagine how I survived that period? Eve Lee shivered. How did he dare to treat you like that? He just did. Did you not take revenge? I hired a few gangsters, but they were all beaten up by him and sent to the hospital. After that, the torturing became worse. Anyway, the familiar Normans is back again. He's a very good coach. He's not only a monster himself, but he also trained me into one. Yesterday I tested my own swimming. I actually hit 24 seconds for 50-meter freestyle. Eve Lee gasped. It was close to the world record. Is he a professional coach? I don't know, but he's really good. You can tell how strong he is himself. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be an athlete, or I'll surely hire him as my coach. Can I hire him as my coach? First, you need to prepare $400,000 for a month, Norman said. That's expensive. Eve Lee widened her eyes at the amount. While her family was very rich, she did not have that much money. Oh, you said he bullied our people from youth society. What happened? Before Normans graduated, she had also been a member of youth society. In fact, she was the former president. Youth society was a society in the college, but it only had female members. It had quite a huge influence in the college. Almost all the beautiful ladies would join youth society. Because of that, the society could summon and instruct most of the guys in the college. He left Diana. Diana? Does he have a relationship with Diana? No, but Diana likes him. And then? He rejected Diana? Yes. All of you must have been really bored. Diana cried really badly because of him, so he has to be punished. But the punishment failed. You don't have a reason to trouble him anymore. Youth society called this the punishment. It was supposed to be a blow to both the soul and the body. Until today, it had never failed. However, the record ended because of Chen Zhao. By the way, when are you returning to San Diego? Why? My dad has something for you to bring back. Ask Uncle to mail it to my house. Why must I bring it back myself? It's too big. Mailing is inconvenient. Is it dead or alive? It's just an object. We won't ask you to bring a rat back again. Don't remind me. I almost rubbed my skin off with alcohol afterward. Chapter 296, Tailored Dress. Chapter 296, Tailored Dress. Chen Zhao sped up and ran to his car. A policewoman was standing before his car, writing him a ticket. Hi, miss. Excuse me, is there something wrong with my car? Chen Zhao hurriedly stopped her from sticking the ticket on. He was parked in a roadside parking space. He had a bunch of pets inside, but the window was open. The policewoman looked at him. This is a temporary spot. You're half an hour over, she explained simply. Then she stuck the ticket onto the windshield. Be careful next time. Fuck, Chen Zhao swore. The officer turned around immediately and glared at him. What did you just say? Repeat it. I didn't say anything. You misheard. Chen Zhao was pissed. He opened the door, wanting to leave immediately. But the officer called out, "Get out. I suspect you're an illegal immigrant. Take out your ID. I'm going to search you." What? I'm suspecting you. Is there a problem? Chen Zhao couldn't say anything. American cops were idealists. If they didn't like you, then they could search you and check your ID. I'm going to report you for racism, Chen Zhao shot back without backing off. Now I suspect you're doing drugs. Come with me to the station. The officer's expression was serious. Fine, but I need to bring my pets. When the officer saw the big and small pets get out of Chen Zhao's car, she was taken aback. Chen Zhao secretly gestured at Black Ma. He ran over to the officer's feet, raised his legs, and peed. Ah! The officer jumped aside and pointed her gun at Black Ma. You're attacking an officer. Chen Zhao made a face and studied the officer. It's your fault for standing there like a pole. Your figure is quite like a pole too. I'm going to report you for disrupting official duties and personal attacks. I'm reporting you for racism. Get into the car. The officer quickly found out that she couldn't get in at all. Black Ma, sitting in the back, stuck his head in front of her. Make it move its head. I can't see the road. Where do you think he can move his head to? Chen Zhao sat in the shotgun. The officer turned with difficulty and saw that the other pets had filled the back seat. Why do you bring so many pets out? I like to. None of your business. The officer really wanted to shoot Chen Zhao with her gun. She managed to drive to the station, but her face was completely wet. It was all from Black Ma's licking. Her hair too. Chen Zhao grinned at the officer. Pissed off, she wiped her face of the saliva. What are you laughing at? Get in. Across from them, David and a few colleagues walked over. Vice Captain. The policewoman saluted to David. Hi, David. Chen. How come you're here? Oh, Black Ma, White Ma. David went up to pet the silly twins. Did you all come to visit me? No, I'm suspected of disrupting official duties, personal attacks, and attacking the police, so I was brought over. Chen Zhao showed the handcuffs on his hands. David was shocked. Attacking the police? You hit Sharon? Black Ma peed on her foot. David looked at him with a dark expression. No need to explain. I bet you told him to do it. Chen Zhao shrugged. He couldn't deny it. He and David were too familiar with each other. David guessed without thinking that they must have had a conflict, so Chen Zhao ordered Black Ma to do it. Okay, this is it. Vice Captain, Sharon wanted to say something else. David looked at her. If you want to be reassigned to my team next month, listen to me. Or you can keep being a street patrol. David was more and more authoritative now. The surrounding colleagues all looked at him with respect. Chen, I won't accompany you. I need to go out. Okay, bye. Chen Zhao hadn't planned on disturbing him anyway. David seemed really busy. He and his partner left in his car without saying anything else to Chen Zhao. Give me your hand. The policewoman looked at Chen Zhao with a dark expression. Chen Zhao separated his hands, breaking the handcuffs. The officer gaped. The next moment, she said furiously, "You're purposely destroying public property." Chen Zhao snapped the two handcuffs. Okay, remember to mail me the bill. Chen, do you and your girlfriend have formal wear? Zola called. Chen Zhao was taken aback. We planned on renting clothes tonight. You and your girlfriend can come to the Baron Mansion tonight. For what? To make a tailored outfit for you too, obviously. You're my important guests. If you wear rented clothes, that's a bit too much. But the fashion show is tomorrow night, right? Is it enough time? You don't have to worry about that. If my designers can't even do this small task, there's no need for me to keep them in the company. Okay, then. Baron Mansion, right? Do you have the address? Chen Zhao hadn't heard of it before. He didn't know where it was either. Seeing that it was about time, he drove to Angel Beach to pick Farley up. Farley noticed that the route was weird. Where are we going? My friend said that her designer can help design an outfit for us. We should be going to get our measurements. The Barron Mansion was in the center of L.A. It was a beautiful park surrounded by verdure. There was a white building in the middle. It looked like a castle. But when Chen Zhao got to the gate, he was stopped. "Excuse me, sir. May I ask what you are here for?" The guard's voice was polite with only a tinge of an interrogatory tone. He studied Chen Zhao, Farley, and the group of pets in the back. Farley was a bit nervous. She had a well-off family, but she'd never been somewhere like this before. "Miss Zola called us here," Chen Zhao said. "Do you have an invitation?" the guard asked. "No. I'm sorry, sir. You cannot go in without an invitation." The guard clearly didn't believe Chen Zhao. "Also, can you move your car so he one behind you can come in?" Chen Zhao looked back. There was a sports car. The driver was Lucy. Lucy also saw Chen Zhao. She came out and said, "Chen, how come you're here?" "Oh, my friend called me over," Chen Zhao said. "But she might have forgotten to give me an invitation, so I got stopped." Lucy nodded. She took off her sunglasses and smoothed her hair. At the same time, she took out her own invitation. "Sir, they're my friends." The guard recognized Lucy. After all, she had a bit of fame too. Looking back at Chen Zhao, he said, "Okay, but I hope Miss Lucy can be responsible for them. If they do anything wrong, it might affect you." Chapter 297, Are all designers as puckish as you? Chapter 297, Are all designers as puckish as you? Once Lucy brought Chen Zhao and Farley into Barron Mansion, she said, "Chen, I'm leaving. Bye." "Goodbye." Chen Zhao and Lucy had a handshake, after which they separated. "She's pretty." Farley sounded rather jealous. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. "But not as pretty as you." He would never praise another lady before his girlfriend. If he really continued Farley's words, he would probably have to attend his own death anniversary next year. Farley rolled her eyes back, but her face was filled with a sweet smile. "Where do we go now?" Farley asked. "Let me ask." Chen Zhao called Zola. "Zola, we're already at Barron Mansion. Are you inside? I forgot to tell you that you need an invitation card to enter." "We're already inside. Met a friend at the entrance and she brought us in. We don't know where to go now. I'll go and fetch you." Very soon, Zola found Chen Zhao and Farley. She first stared at Farley with a judgmental look. "You must be Farley. You're beautiful." "Hi, Ms. Zola." Farley did not want to embarrass Chen Zhao in front of his friend, so she shook Zola's hand. Zola was glowing with health and energy. In the past, she had truly been a female devil in her company. Recently, however, she seemed to have changed completely. "By the way, take this card, so that you won't be stopped at the entrance again." Zola gave Chen Zhao a gold card. No matter how common the card looked, gold was a symbol of status. "Thanks." Chen Zhao took the card. "Let's go and meet my designers." When Chen Zhao and Farley entered the mansion, they looked like two farmers entering a big city. The place was filled with lavish decorations. When they passed by the stage, Chen Zhao saw many hot models rehearsing with various kinds of clothes. The stage was not a usual catwalk. Instead, it was circular with a very unique design. The models were also not catwalking. They were moving in another kind of slow and elegant way. Chen Zhao did not dare to stare at them. He had only glanced at the models briefly and Farley was already pinching the side of his waist. When Zola saw this, she only smiled gently. Soon, they reached the backstage. Zola took out a walkie-talkie. "Tries, Nat, Cooper, come to the backstage." Nobody dared to be slow toward the female boss. Even the chief designers of Barron Mansion had to tremble before Zola. Soon, Chen Zhao and Farley saw three designers with strong personal styles walk in. Try's hair was very messy, as if she had not tidied it before. She had two dark patches near her eyes, but they were only part of her smoky makeup. She had a slim body and a purple lipstick. Nat was a sissy. From his fancy clothes, it was obvious that he liked to display himself. He was bending his pinky and applying makeup on his face even before Zola. Cooper had an orthodox handsome face with some beard. His hair was neatly combed into a braid. Zola introduced the 3 designers to the 2. They're the chief designers in my company. Which of them do you want your formal wear to be designed by? Maybe tries for Farley's formal wear. Chen Zhao appointed tries to design for Farley. How about you? Zola asked. Hey, handsome young man. Nat blew Chen Zhao a kiss. Chen Zhao shivered. While he was not homophobic, he could not get used to it. He could get along with people like Robio more. Mr. Cooper. Thank you. Cooper looked serious, maybe a bit too serious. Nat did not mind it at all. He approached Zola and massaged her shoulders. Zola, I made a new lip gloss recently. Do you want to try it? Sure. Chen, Farley, excuse me for a while. Tries brought Farley to another room, while Cooper stayed in the same room with Chen Zhao. Sir, how should I address you? Mr. Cooper, just call me Chen. Chen, I'll measure your sizes first. Remove your clothes. All of them. Except for your underwear. When Cooper saw Chen Zhao's body, his eyes glowed. God, your body is simply perfect. Chen Zhao felt as if Cooper had turned international. He can't be gay too. Chen Zhao subconsciously covered his groin, thinking that the place was too dangerous for him. Cooper extended his hand toward Chen Zhao's chest. Chen Zhao immediately dodged. Cooper, stop. Cooper suddenly realized his inappropriate behavior. Sorry, I was just too excited. You have the most perfect body I've ever seen. Really? Those male models are all tall and muscular. They can't be worse than me. No, it's a completely different feeling. Cooper shook his head. This is the body proportions a man should have. You're Venus. Although I'm Chinese, I know that Venus is female. That's not important. Cooper shook his hand. Of course it is. Chen Zhao widened his eyes. Cooper kept measuring Chen Zhao's body and scribbling on a piece of paper with a pencil. If someone asked Chen Zhao what was the most painful experience in his life, he would surely say it was being a stationery model. Especially when he was the model for a paranoid designer. Chen Zhao thought that Cooper looked normal, but he changed completely after starting to work. While it showed how professional Cooper was, Chen Zhao still felt uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. Chen, what color do you like? Just choose the most suitable color in your opinion. You're attending the show tomorrow with Ms. Farley, right? Yes. According to my understanding of tries, she will probably design a white dress for Ms. Farley, so you should get something black. Sounds great to me. Chen Zhao did not know anything about it. Listening to a professional designer surely could not go wrong. This is my design. What do you think? Cooper gave Chen Zhao his design diagram. It was only a simple sketch, but the clothes looked really matching and comfortable. Chen Zhao had to admit that Cooper was indeed an excellent designer. Even though it was only a brief design, Chen Zhao felt that the formal wear would really suit him. If you have any objections, let me know. Will you change it? No. Are all designers as puckish as you? Chapter 298 Girls Who Cry in Cars All Have Stories. Chapter 298 Girls Who Cry in Cars All Have Stories. Excuse me, when is Mr. Nat free? Lucy had waited for an hour, but Try still hadn't come. Lucy could only grab Nat's assistant and ask. The assistant turned to look at her. She knew that Lucy was a small celebrity, but there were countless celebrities who asked for tries. She couldn't meet with everyone, so not all of the requests were accepted. A top designer must act like a top designer. If everyone could have his design, then his stuff would seem too cheap. If some people could have it but others couldn't, he would become more coveted. As for small celebrities like Lucy, Nat wouldn't help her design a dress even if she could get an appointment. I'm sorry, Miss Lucy. Mr. Nat is working right now. He's busy. Lucy was upset. Since they'd made this appointment and so much time had passed, Why didn't Nat come to see her? Did even fashion designers look down on her? Anger flared in her. In that case, I'll return now, she said with a cold expression. She had to repress her anger. This wasn't the place for her to throw a tantrum in. This was the Barron mansion. If she made a scene here, she could just buy a ticket back to Australia. Miss Lucy, I think you should wait a bit more. Mr. Nat's work will be over soon. My time is precious. I don't wish to just wait here. Mr. Nat's time is already arranged. Miss Lucy, he delayed other clients just to see you. If you leave now, it'll be disrespectful to him. Did he respect me by making me wait for an hour? Lucy asked coldly. She didn't plan on wasting her breath with this assistant and turned to leave. When she got to the door, she saw Nat finally coming. Miss Lucy, where are you going? I'm leaving, Lucy said, pushing her anger down. Since you're so busy, I won't disturb you anymore. Seeming indifferent, Nat pulled out the handkerchief from his chest pocket and put it before his nose. Acting like a diva, he said, Miss Lucy, I had to meet someone very important, but I still made time to see you. Do you know how big the loss is? But I'm here and you want to leave. This is disrespectful to me. Mr. Nat, I waited for you for an hour, a whole hour, and then you tell me I'm disrespectful? Lucy lost control and her voice rose an octave. I told you that I was with someone very important. I won't force you to understand this, but if you leave, you'll be put on the Barron Mansion's blacklist. You can think about it. I'm the Barron Mansion's special guest tomorrow, but you want to blacklist me. Lucy sneered. I'm afraid you don't have the right. You think being a special guest is important. Nat scoffed. I'm one of those who recommend special guests and you're only one of those guests. There are people to take your place. At that time, Zola heard the argument and walked over. What's wrong? I can hear the noise from my room. Seeing Zola, Nat instantly turned from the aggressive guy to a simpering follower. He clung to Zola with a coquettish expression. Zola, this little celebrity thought that I wasted her time by accompanying you. She's throwing a tantrum now. Lucy's expression changed. Before coming, she already knew that this mature woman before her eyes was the owner of the Barron Mansion. Miss Zola, I can explain. Lucy panicked. Offending Nat was a small matter. No matter how talented he was only a fashion designer. It wasn't like Lucy wouldn't have anything to wear if Nat wouldn't design something for her. Zola was different though. She was actually powerful in Hollywood. It was evident from the guest list for tomorrow's fashion show. Lucy was practically the lowest-ranked guest on the list. She only got this chance because her manager had bribed them. She would get paid $250,000 for this job, but her manager had paid $100,000. Both she and the manager placed great importance on this chance to get closer to Zola. Now, reality was going against her wishes. Not only did she not get closer to Zola, she even offended the woman. Zola waved her hand. I don't care about your argument. Just please be quiet. I have another important guest here and people are rehearsing on stage. No matter who keeps arguing, please get out of here. With that, Zola left. Nat returned to his aggressive self after Zola left. Did you hear that? We don't welcome you here. Please get out. Lucy clenched her teeth, unable to vent out her anger. She walked out with a cold face. But when she reached the parking lot, she couldn't hold it in anymore. Breaking down, she leaned on the steering wheel and sobbed. It felt like the world was ending, everything became dark and dreary. She'd struggled in Hollywood for close to a year now, but she was always a step away from success. Now, she'd offended someone with true power. If Nat said some negative things to the Barron Mansion's boss, she would completely lose this chance. She didn't know what she could do. It just felt like everything was over, truly over. If she returned to Australia, there would be no flowers or applause waiting. The newspapers would report her failures so the entire nation could see. The stronger one was, the worse their breakdown would be. Lucy once thought that she could take any kind of pressure. But now, she realized just how fragile she was. She cried louder and louder because no one was here to hear. She could release all her sadness and anger. Knock, knock. Just then, someone knocked on her window. Lucy froze. Looking up, she saw two people standing outside. Chen Zhao and Farley were right outside her car. Chen Zhao bent down to look at Lucy. Lucy, what's wrong? She hurriedly wiped her tears, but her makeup was all messed up now. Nothing. I'm fine. Her voice was still choked up. Lucy, Farley said. You can say what's wrong. We won't tell anyone. Seeing a woman sobbing in this pitch-black parking lot, Farley thought that she'd definitely been mistreated. She felt like she had to care for this woman. Chapter 299, Standing Up. Chapter 299, Standing Up. Lucy wiped away her tears, but resentment surged into her mind again. Can I come in? Farley asked. Lucy was at her weakest moment. She urgently needed someone's care. Farley played the role very well. When she boarded the car, Lucy hugged her tightly. Farley listened to Lucy's story. After a while, she said, perhaps Chen will have a solution. He won't. Lucy shook her head. Thank you. Now I feel much better. I don't want to get anyone into trouble. Farley looked at Chen Zhao, who had been waiting outside the car, and said, Chen, that pervert Nat bullied Lucy. Can you speak for her? Can you tell me what happened? Farley told him the story again. Chen Zhao gave it some thought. All right. Lucy, let's go back in. Farley, Chen, forget it. It's already over. Lucy, believe in Chen. He will have a solution, Farley comforted. Lucy was still rather worried. She did not know what Chen Zhao was going to do. If they made a big deal out of it and enraged Zola, it might really destroy Lucy's Hollywood dream entirely. Chen Zhao brought Lucy into the mansion. Cooper was puzzled to see Chen Zhao. Chen, did you leave something here? No, go and ask Nat to come out, Chen Zhao said. Why? He bullied my friend. My friend needs an apology. Cooper glanced at Lucy and thought about it. Wait for a while. Instead of calling Nat out, Cooper went to find Zola. He could tell from Chen Zhao's face that they were probably here to argue with National. Chen Zhao was Zola's friend, so clearly he should inform Zola. After a while, Zola appeared. Chen, what happened? As Zola asked her question, she glanced at Lucy. Lucy was much more demure before Zola. Zola, your designer Nat humiliated my friend. Lucy needs an apology. After thinking, Zola asked, can you tell me what happened? When Chen Zhao told her the story, Zola's face darkened. Lucy was horrified. She did not expect Chen Zhao and Zola to know each other. Apart from that, Zola was even willing to patiently listen to what he had to say. When Lucy tried to explain herself just now, Zola did not listen and chased her out directly. Soon, Nat came. He immediately realized that the atmosphere was not quite right. Nevertheless, he still habitually approached Zola and said in a sweet voice, Zola, I was preparing things for the show tomorrow night. What is it? Did you have an appointment with Ms. Lucy and then not show up? Zola asked. Zola, I was keeping you a company. Some coldness flashed across Zola's eyes. Is the answer yes or no? Seeing Zola's serious face, Nat did not dare to act cute anymore. Yes, he admitted. Apologize to Ms. Lucy. Zola, she's just a small star. When Lucy heard this, her face darkened further. She would rather a person to not know her than say this before her. It was the worst humiliation she could receive. Zola stared at Nat coldly. Don't forget that you were also a small tailor before I promoted you. Perhaps you miss your days as a tailor. Chen Zhao realized that Nat's rough face was trembling and his thick layer of foundation was falling off. Nat might be a famous designer to an outsider, but Zola's words could really turn him back into a tailor again. Nat approached Lucy. Ms. Lucy, I apologize for my words and behavior just now. Forget it. I forgive you. None of them was being sincere. Some hatred was meant to last for a lifetime. Zola, Lucy is an actress. You won't make her life difficult, will you? Chen Zhao asked. He did not want Zola to chase Lucy out of Hollywood once this was over. Of course I won't since you gave the word. Anyway, if you really want to help her, you can find Steven yourself. I heard from him that you recommended him the female lead for his new movie. Lucy was flabbergasted. She had really thought that Chen Zhao was only Steven's private doctor. However, when she heard Zola's words, she suddenly realized that she actually knew nothing about Chen Zhao. Steven was one of the best directors in the world, but Chen Zhao could recommend an actress for the lead. No private doctors in the world could do that. Lucy regretted not being able to discover Chen Zhao's real influence earlier. If she had seized the opportunity, perhaps she would also be the lead for a famous director. Unfortunately, it was too late. Lucy suddenly envied Farley. Why could she not get such an outstanding man herself? Ms. Lucy, I hope that it didn't affect your mood. Don't disappoint me on the show tomorrow. Of course, Ms. Zola. Zola, we're leaving now, Chen Zhao said. Can you go and visit my dad when you're free? That old asshole's been fooling around a bit too much recently. Can you go and control him please? I can't control him. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. See you. Farley, Chen, thank you so much. Lucy hugged the two and then left reluctantly. She could tell that Chen Zhao and Farley really loved each other. Chen Zhao had even rejected her seduction the night before. It was therefore impossible for her to get close to Chen Zhao using her body. She only had one other way, to become a friend of Farley. As long as they could become good friends, Lucy could ask Farley for help. Lucy's mind was filled with hope again. She had finally thought it through. Different from the past, she did not have to give her body this time. Everything would work, provided she and Farley could become real friends. Of course, she did not intend to hurt anyone. Even though her initial goal was to use Farley, they could still become true friends. Chen, who did you recommend as the female lead again? Farley finally asked. A woman. Yes, who is she? An actress. I know. Stop changing the topic. I can promise you that since we were together, I have never touched her again. Which means you dated each other in the past? Not really. There was just a period in the past when my life was messy. Do you miss your messy life? Of course not. Every day you drain me dry. Why would I think of another woman? Bullshit. You're the one who forces it all the time. Chapter 300 Feels Great. Chapter 300 Feels Great. That night, Farley proved something to Chen Zhao. The saying was, there are only oxen that die from exhaustion, no fields that are badly plowed. Of course, the final result was that both sides suffered losses. The next day, Chen Zhao was still spirited while Farley's body was all sore. Chen Zhao took the group of demons to Dell's in the morning. After all, he had to go to the fashion show with Farley at night. The Baron mansion was Zola's, but it still wasn't suitable to bring a bunch of pets there. So he'd obediently keep the pets at Dell's for now. When Faith saw the wave of pets, she jumped out of Mary's arms happily. Mary almost freaked out, but thankfully, Faith landed safely. Then she watched Faith bring the pets next door to show off. Wright felt that she hadn't slept so comfortably in a long while. She remembered that she'd drunk the wine from Chen Zhao last night. In the beginning, she only planned on taking a few sips. As she drank, she got into the mood. She couldn't resist it. Wright didn't drink at all for many years, but last night, she drank more than half of the bottle. She didn't know when she'd fallen asleep, but she slept on the sofa for the entire night. Technically, with her health condition, she would have to sleep in the hospital for a month after sleeping on the sofa for a night. The strange thing was that she didn't feel any soreness. Instead, she felt relaxed. Her limbs felt strong too. She saw that the bottle of red wine had fallen over on the table. She must have hit it while sleeping. The ground was covered in wine. Wiping the table, she remembered what Chen Zhao had said. If she couldn't finish it, she should dump it, so she emptied the bottle. But when she went to the bathroom and saw herself in the mirror, she had a fright. Where was her trademark white hair? How come it was all black? Had someone slipped in and dyed her hair last night? No one was that stupid though. Her age spots had decreased too. Wright observed herself, realizing that she'd really changed drastically. She thought of that bottle of wine. Chen Zhao had been very serious when gifting it to her. Could this be the wine's effect? Wright called Chen. Hello, Chen? Hi, Wright. How are you? I'm great, Wright said. I've almost forgotten this light feeling. I've never felt this before. You drank the wine? Yes, I feel like you got younger, right? Chen Zhao asked. Yes, indeed. You should be around 60 years old right now. I'm not sure about the specifics. Chen, are you saying that I've become younger? Only around 30 years younger, Chen Zhao answered. Oh, did you finish the bottle? No, you said that I should dump it if I can't finish. If the wine really has this effect, isn't it better if I drink a few more times? It's only effective once. If you got drunk the first time, it means you've already reached the limit. There won't be an effect the next time. And if this bottle gets into someone else's hands, I'll have endless problems. All right, I understand. Wright was reasonable. She was shocked at Chen Zhao's abilities, but she didn't keep asking. Chen Zhao was willing to help her for some things. For other things, he wouldn't answer even if Wright asked. She was more willing to maintain this relationship. Since Chen Zhao trusted her, she should trust him too. Oh, right, Chen Zhao said. Does your school have a psychiatry department? Yes, what's wrong? I have a patient. He's a vegetable. I don't know how to treat him right now, so I hope to talk to an expert in this field. No problem. When are you free? Wright asked, smiling. I finally see that you aren't all-powerful either. I'm not God. I'm obviously not all-powerful. Okay, I won't disturb you now. I need to start working too. Chen Zhao hung up. Bang. Chen Zhao heard a bang from his car. He turned and saw a biker kicking his car. It was the big-bearded biker from the fight at the bar last time. He flipped Chen Zhao off and then rode off with exhaust flooding out of the pipes. Chen Zhao wanted to floor the gas pedal and crush him, but considering the functions of the car, he decided not to. The biker didn't go far though. He slowed down and stuck his middle finger up again. Chen Zhao shook his fists at the man. He hadn't lost in the last fight. The biker drew a circle in the air, pointed at himself, pointed at Chen Zhao, and then clenched his fist. He seemed to be saying, "Find a place, just us two." Chen Zhao nodded. "You want to fight? If I don't break your leg, I'll say my name backwards." "Wait, my name is already backwards in America." Just then, a car ran the red light. The bearded biker flew into the air. When he crashed back down, he was covered in blood. The car responsible was long gone. Fuck. Chen Zhao quickly parked his car. He ran to the biker's shed to check his injuries. He wasn't dead, thankfully. He was just badly injured. Chen Zhao did some emergency first aid and then called 911. A while later, the ambulance and police were here. The police officer wasn't a stranger. It was Sharon, who'd taken him to the police station yesterday. "How come it's you? Why can't it be me?" Sharon was annoyed. "Tell me what happened." "I don't want to tell you anymore." Chen Zhao didn't feel like cooperating. "Your car parked here is disrupting traffic. Want a ticket?" "I was trying to save someone." "Saving someone doesn't mean you can break the rules. This is stupid. You're also obstructing the investigation. Can't you do anything other than threatening me? Do I need anything else against you? Don't you want to leave the traffic team to join David's crime investigation team? So what? You know David's my good friend. If I mention him to you, he might consider having you join his team." Sharon's eyes brightened. "Really? Of course. Then please help me say something. I'm thirsty." Sharon clenched her fists, but she pushed it down. "I'll treat you." Chapter 301, Body Double. Chapter 301, Body Double. Chen Zhao and Sharon drank at an open-air coffee shop. Displeased, Chen Zhao said, "You want me to speak for you with just a $3 coffee? Don't you think it's too cheap? Are you trying to cheat my money?" Sharon looked at Chen Zhao in disgust. "Whatever you think it is." Chen Zhao took a sip of coffee. "I'll remember you. Just wait." Sharon stood up in anger and left. Chen Zhao looked at Sharon's back. Free coffee was not too bad either. Chen Zhao was about to get into his car when he heard someone say, "Are you Mr. Chen?" Chen Zhao turned around and realized it was the saleswoman from the car store that time. He could not remember her name. "You are. I'm Pally's. Do you not remember me?" "Oh, Pally's. I remember." Pally's looked at the car behind Chen Zhao. "Mr. Chen, is this your car?" "Yes, why? Didn't you buy an Aston Martin DB11 AMR from our shop?" "Ha! Actually, I was just buying it for someone else. I can't afford that kind of car." Chen Zhao smiled. Pally's passion was extinguished at once. She glanced at Chen Zhao, not interested in him anymore. "I'm leaving now. Bye." Pally's waved her hand. Before Chen Zhao even replied, she turned around and left. She had originally thought that Chen Zhao was a wealthy bachelor, but he turned out to be poor as well. Pally's was very disappointed. Although she was also not rich herself, she looked down on the poor. When she returned to her car, her phone rang. "Hey, Pally's, where are you now?" "On my way back." It was her boyfriend. He continued impatiently, "Come back, quick. Change your clothes and be prepared." "Why? Be prepared for what?" "I heard that Mr. Steven is recruiting actors for his new movie." Pally's was surprised. "Is there a suitable role for me?" She was not an actress and had also never acted before, but in Los Angeles, all women dreamed of becoming a star. This was of course true for Pally's as well. "No. Then why should I be prepared? Although there isn't a role for you, I heard that the female lead has been decided. The film crew is now looking for a double for her. I've sent your photo to the assistant director. He's very satisfied, but he wishes to interview you himself." "You mean I'll be a body double for the lead?" Pally's was hesitant. After all, a body double surely would not have frontal and close-up shots. It seemed to be pointless. "That's right," Pally's boyfriend said in excitement. "If you get to know the female lead, perhaps you can ask her to find me a good role." Pally's finally got it. Her boyfriend had just been thinking for himself and not for her. "I still have my own job. How can I just go and be a double?" Pally's said. "Why are you so selfish? Why can't you think about me? If I can obtain a role, even a small one, I can become famous. By then, you won't even need to work. I can give you money. But until now, I'm the one giving you money," Pally's said. "It's different. They were small directors, not Mr. Steven. That's Mr. Steven. Perhaps the director was important for the leading actor, but it really would not make a difference for a person who could not even get an insignificant role in an ordinary movie." Pally's did not even know why she liked such a useless guy in the first place. He could do nothing other than having unrealistic fascinations. 9 out of 10 times when he went for studio auditions, he would be chased out. After he returned home, he would curse the directors, saying that they could not understand his talents and performance. Pally's had to pay for all his food, clothes, accommodation, travel and weed expenses. "Pally's, listen, if you can get this job, you'll be paid $50,000. I can get a new car." Pally's was surprised. 50,000 was really quite high. Were all doubles paid this much? As for the last part of her boyfriend's sentence, she ignored it completely. A parasite who had been relying on her to survive complained about his car. When Pally's returned home, her boyfriend Rocco eagerly urged Pally's to change her clothes and put on her makeup. "Change your bra. Wear a sexy one," Rocco said. Pally's suddenly turned her head and stared at Rocco. "What did you say?" "What?" Rocco's eyes sparkled. Pally's discovered that Rocco was trying to avoid her stare. "Is this really an interview? Pally's, help me. Just once, please." It's 50,000. Scram. Scram out of here. Pally's was furious. She would not usually abstain herself, but that did not mean she was willing to be betrayed by her boyfriend. Her trash boyfriend had renewed her understanding of the word shameless. The thin Rocco was pushed back by Pally's. Drugs had long sapped his strength. Pally's, listen to me. The enraged Pally's threw Rocco, as well as all his stuff, out of the house. Pally's, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Rocco kept knocking on the door. Pally's took out her gun from the drawer, opened the door and pointed it at Rocco's head. Scram. Never appear before me again. Rocco almost peed his pants. He quickly begged, Pally's, I'll go. Calm down. Pally's watched as Rocco dragged his tattered items and escaped. Only then did she close the door again. When she returned to her room, she noticed the name card on the table. Should I try? What if I'm lucky and actually chosen? It's 50,000. Even if the assistant director wants to sleep with me, I can just close my eyes and it'll be over in no time. Being sent onto another man's bed by her boyfriend and making the decision herself were different. At least, Pally's hated being betrayed by her boyfriend. As for betraying her own body, she did not mind it that much. If the assistant director was rich, she might even form a long-term relationship with him. After some consideration, Pally's still took out her phone. Hi Mr. James, I'm Pally's. Rocco recommended me to you. Chapter 302, Morgery is fleeing again. Chapter 302, Morgery is fleeing again. Chen, Rasfa, and I have a party in 2 days. Want to come? There'll be a lot of pretty girls. Ever since Stephen recovered his abilities, he became less and less of a respected elder. No, I have a steady relationship right now. I don't want to cause any problems. What a pity. You'll regret it. I won't regret it, Chen Zhao said, unconvinced. Be careful. I don't want to have to treat your STDs later. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Don't overdo it either. You two are both strong now, but you're still old. Just then, Chen Zhao heard loud singing. A woman with a hat and sunglasses was playing the guitar by the roadside. She had a microphone before her. Chen Zhao parked the car and leaned against the window to listen to her sing. No one stopped when she finished the song, but she didn't care. She began the next song. Chen Zhao pulled some change out of his pocket. Rolling up the cash, he tossed it before the woman. Hey, you're good at singing. Bye. The woman picked up the cash and looked at the SUV driving away. He gave me money. Did he think I'm a busker? Her phone rang just then. Her manager's voice sounded on the other end. Dear, where are you right now? Busking. What? Nothing. What's wrong? The Baroness has a fashion show today. Going. Get me an invitation. No problem. Chen Zhao's phone rang, but it was an unfamiliar number. Hello, who is it? Hey, Chen. Are you busy? Morgery's phone streamed out. Morgery, you changed your number? I'm in trouble. I need help. Where are you right now? Is anyone next to you? Morgery sounded nervous. No. I can trust you, right? Keep up the nonsense and I'll hang up. Fine, fine. I'm in that forest cabin from last time. Okay, I'll head over. Chen Zhao had thought that Morgery and his boss had settled down, but he was clearly wrong. Gangsters would never settle down. However, they were friends, so he couldn't not do anything. Chen Zhao turned the steering wheel and drove toward the suburbs. Halfway there, he saw a big tree blocking the street. He couldn't get through, so he had to get out of the car and try to move the tree. Just then, he heard a whistle. Following the sound, he saw Morgery hiding by the roadside. Morgery, didn't you say you'll wait in the cabin? How come you're here? It's not safe there anymore. Were you purposely lying to me on the phone? Ignore those details. Follow me. What about my car? No one's going to steal your crappy car. Chen Zhao walked over to Morgery, who came out of the grass. His body was covered in blood. He had a gunshot wound in his thigh too. Morgery, did you just get back from Afghanistan? Don't mention it, Morgery said dejectedly. Boss is dead, the guys are scattered. Only I escaped. Chen Zhao was surprised to hear that Morgery's boss was dead. I'm not interested in your gang problems. Don't tell me about them either. Find a place for me to treat you. Haven't seen in a few days and you've gotten all slow. I don't have money right now. So you owe me. I'm already here, so I'll at least take an IOU back if I can't get money. Chen Zhao could see that Morgery had really fallen this time. It was different from before. He hadn't made excuses about the fee the last time they'd had to escape. Where are you living now? A cave. A cave. Chen Zhao's eyes widened. No way. It's that bad. I don't know who I can trust now, other than you. I have some money. You can take it. No need, Morgery said. I'm too scared to buy things even if I have money. Did you offend the CIA or something? You look so scared. Whatever. Let's stop talking. I'll take you to where I'm hiding. I'll carry you. Chen Zhao watched how Morgery limped down the rugged forest road. He walked with difficulty. Thankfully, he was physically strong. Otherwise, he'd already be on the ground. Morgery was forcing himself to stay up too. Chen Zhao picked him up. Oh, when did you start shaving your head? You had me help you grow hair before. Didn't you say hair grew out? I suddenly think that being bald suits me better, Morgery answered. How much further? That hill up above. Are you planning on becoming a caveman? I need to hide and then decide. Chen Zhao carried Morgery to the cave's entrance but heard something inside. It was heavy breathing, like someone was robbing Morgery. When they reached the entrance and looked in, they saw a huge black shadow in the cave. Morgery's suitcase was ripped open. All his clothes were scattered. His food, sausages, crackers, and clean water were destroyed too. Fuck. It was an unimaginably large brown bear. Its burly figure gave off a repressive aura. Its thick limbs could rip apart anything. Chen Zhao estimated that it was more than 500 kilograms and 3 meters tall. This bear was definitely the king of this forest. When he and Morgery discovered the bear, it also discovered them. Roar. The bear let out a roar and rushed out of the cave. Run. Morgery yelled. Chen Zhao grabbed Morgery and sprinted. But Morgery let out a strangled cry. His ankle was in the bear's mouth. Chen Zhao ran too quickly, which made Morgery get dragged off of his back. Chen Zhao looked back to see the bear pounce on Morgery. When he was in the heat of things, he would sometimes turn impulsive when he was extremely afraid. This was what happened. Without thinking, Chen Zhao pounced at the bear. The bear lifted its claw and left 4 gashes on his chest. His shirt was torn and blood started seeping from his injuries. Chen Zhao immediately returned a punch to the bear, but the bear didn't react at all when his fist landed. Chapter 303 Morgery being soft-hearted. Chapter 303 Morgery being soft-hearted. Morgery barely got up from the ground and also leaped at the brown bear, his eyes red. However, before he could even get close, the bear sent him flying away with its paw. Chen Zhao hugged the bear tightly. Its claws were too dangerous and had to be restricted. Chen Zhao used all his strength with every single muscle. He managed to lift the bear into the air. Morgery's eyes almost popped out. He did not know Chen Zhao was so strong. Nevertheless, he could see the bulging veins on Chen Zhao's neck and face. He could feel how tired Chen Zhao was. Chen Zhao threw the bear hard onto the ground and then leaped on it. By then, he had already activated the mouth of Glutton. Hidden under his sleeve, his right arm turned as hard as steel. He punched the bear's head. The bear spit a mouthful of blood. Roar, roar. The bear seemed to be begging in fear. However, Chen Zhao raised his right arm and punched it again. One punch, and another. Just then, Morgery suddenly shouted, "Chen, don't kill it." Chen Zhao was brought back to reality. He stared at Morgery, confused. It almost killed us. Morgery pointed at the distance. There were two small brown bears roaring, as if they were trying to expel the two humans with their courage. To them, the two humans were bullying their mother. After some hesitation, Chen Zhao still stood up. The two small bears immediately approached their mother. They stood in front of their mother and roared at Chen Zhao and Morgery. Why would you sympathize with them? Chen Zhao did not understand why someone as tough as Morgery would display this kind of pity. 30 years ago, my mother was killed before me by two men, just like this, Morgery said. It attacked us because it wanted to protect its kids. Let's go. Chen Zhao could hardly contain the pain. Blood was oozing out from the wound on his chest. Will it die? Morgery turned his head and looked at the brown bear. If it dies, its kids will die too. You still have the mood to care about them? Unable to ignore Morgery's look, Chen Zhao turned around. When the two small bears saw Chen Zhao return, they immediately roared at him. Chen Zhao walked toward the mother bear directly. The two small bears bit Chen Zhao's pants, trying to stop him from getting close to their mother. Chen Zhao kicked the two small bears away. He squatted down in front of the mother bear and fed it a bottle of potion. Don't go near any human again, or you'll only kill yourself and your kids. When Chen Zhao and Morgery left, the mother bear had already gotten up from the ground. It looked at the two from afar. Chen Zhao and Morgery returned to the cave, injured and exhausted. Chen Zhao immediately began to treat their injuries. Just then, they heard some noises outside the cave. The bear's back again. It was clearly the bear's sound. Morgery found his gun among his scattered items. If it comes again, I won't let it off. Gimme your gun. I'll go and take a look, Chen Zhao said. Morgery fully trusted Chen Zhao and gave him the gun without hesitation. Chen Zhao carefully left the cave and saw 3 fish struggling on the ground. In the distance, the 3 bears were looking at him. Is this reciprocation? The 3 bears left quietly. Chen Zhao returned to the cave with the fish. Where did you get the fish from? The mother bear put them before the cave. Morgery smiled, but it immediately affected his wounds. He quickly gasped in pain. How can you still smile? As long as I'm alive, I'll be smiling. Morgery, this place is too dangerous. You should choose a new place. Nah, it's fine. Morgery shook his head. I don't want to see your corpse one day, Chen Zhao said. I'll stay alive. I hope so. Time for me to go, Chen Zhao said. Here, antibiotic, cold medicine, painkiller, and a first aid kit. Keep the portable charger too. What else do you need? Chen, how many things did you bring? Can't believe you actually have a power bank. Chen Zhao had prepared many things in his spatial ring in case of emergencies. Just then, his phone rang. Hey, Chen. It was Gaia. Hi Gaia, yes. Chen Zhao deliberately raised his volume. Did Morgery call you? Gaia asked. No, I haven't seen him in a while, Chen Zhao answered. Morgery understandingly blinked his eyes and kept silent. Really? Did something happen to him? Forget it. Bye. Gaia hung up. Morgery heaved a sigh of relief. Chen Zhao looked at him. What exactly happened between the two of you? I don't want to talk about it. Stop asking, Morgery said. After telling Morgery more things, Chen Zhao left the cave. However, when he returned to his car, he realized that it was moving. The windshield was broken, scattered all over the ground. The 2 small bears were also on the ground, roaring. Chen Zhao walked to the back. The mother bear had climbed into the car. Roar, roar. Stop shouting. I let you off, and now you're making a mess here. You want to die? Chen Zhao roared. Just then, the mother bear lifted a huge salmon. Chen Zhao carefully approached the rear window and looked into the car. There were more than 10 fish on the car floor. The whole car was filled with a fishy odor. Chen Zhao almost went mad. Are you planning to stay here? Roar, roar. The mother bear placed the salmon before Chen Zhao. It looked as if it was asking Chen Zhao to eat. Chen Zhao rubbed his forehead. What is this? Are they going to stay here forever? Chen Zhao took out his phone. Farley. What? Do you mind having a mother bear and 2 small bears in our house? Heh! Farley exclaimed. What? There will be new members in our house? 3 bears. Very probably. Great. Where are they? When can I see them? I'll bring them home now. You can see them when you get back. Chen Zhao carried the 2 small bears onto his car and then drove away. I don't know if you can understand me, but if you want to stay with me, you have to listen to me all the time. You should never hurt another human, at least not without my permission. It's definitely not allowed. Do you understand? If you do, nod your head. The mother bear nodded. Chen Zhao was pleased. It seemed that the intelligence potion worked really fast. The mother bear was already intelligent. Perhaps it was also the reason why she wanted to follow Chen Zhao. Just then, Zola called. Chen, can you and Farley come now and try your formal wear? Are they ready already? It's just been a night. Yes, we made them as fast as we can. I hope you can come now and try them. If you're not satisfied with them, we'll still have time to change them. Chapter 304, I'll Call You Princess. Chapter 304, I'll Call You Princess. Chen Zhao went to the barren mansion with the mother bear and 2 kids. When Zola saw how bloody and dirty Chen Zhao was, as well as the 3 bears, she was honestly scared. She hadn't seen such a big bear before and didn't dare to get close. Chen, what happened? I ran into them during a walk. We fought, I won, and they became my pets. Are you sure they won't hurt anyone? Don't worry, Chen Zhao said. I tamed them already. Are your injuries okay? I'm a doctor. Zola thought for a bit. Thinking of Chen Zhao's shocking medical skills, she stopped asking. I'll take you to wash up. She took Chen Zhao straight to the club swimming pool. There were many handsome men and pretty women playing in the water. When they saw Chen Zhao and the family of 3, they all scattered. Zola touched her chin, watching Chen Zhao push the mother bear into the pool. Chen, do you think they'll cooperate if I design a set of clothes for those 3? Chen Zhao was stunned. What do you mean? I want them to walk down the catwalk too, Zola said. Chen Zhao hesitated. After all, these 3 had just come to him. They weren't canines or demon incarnates, so he wasn't entirely sure. However, this was Zola's request. If he could help Zola, he was definitely willing. Okay, but I have to be backstage, Chen Zhao said. After washing up in the pool, Chen Zhao felt much livelier. Zola handed him a towel. Right, what are their names? I forgot to name them. Chen Zhao waved at the mother. Come here. The mother bear ran over to Chen Zhao. On the side, Zola still felt pressured. Chen Zhao dried the bear with the towel. After getting dried, she became much more spirited too. You'll be princess from now on, Chen Zhao said. Got it. Its fur was dark red, so Chen Zhao thought that princess matched her temperament. But what would actual princesses feel if they knew that a bear was named that? Ah. In the future, you'll make 1 sound if you agree and 2 if you don't. Do you agree with the name princess or not? Ah. Zola was honestly floored while watching from the side. Was princess really from the wild and not stolen from a circus? A while later, Zola had someone bring over fruits and honey. They're called Briar and Bramble. Chen Zhao named the 2 cubs. They hadn't drunk the intelligence potion, so they couldn't be as smart as the mother. However, they were harmless. They would be close to those that their mother was close to. Bears were also just as intelligent as dogs, if not more. The honey they ate before couldn't be compared to the high-class honey that Zola prepared. The family of 3 licked the plate of honeyed fruit clean. After drying Princess, Zola led Chen Zhao and Princess's family into the clubhouse. As long as Princess was there, no one dared to get close. On the other hand, Chen Zhao only wore his boxers with gauze over his chest. Cooper, Trish, Nat, get over here. What are you hiding for? The 3 stood fearfully at the door, not daring to come in. Get over here. I need you 3 to work together and make a dress for Princess before the show starts tonight. You can talk to it with simple words. As long as you don't attack it, It won't attack you either. You need to get its permission before measuring it. It'll make 1 sound for agreeing and 2 for disagreeing. The 3 just stood there, not daring to get close. Do you want your jobs? Zola yelled. I'm not afraid. What are you scared of? The 3 finally moved their shaking legs. Cooper held up measuring tape. Just to ask, can I measure your waist? Ah. When Cooper wrapped the tape around Princess's waist, he could almost feel the heat inside her. Thankfully, nothing happened. The 3 designers fearfully finished the measurements. Princess was 3.5 meters tall and 480 kilograms heavy. This was an incredible weight. It wasn't that brown bears couldn't reach this weight, but that mother bears were usually 1/3 the weight of males. Chen Zhao stayed with Princess the entire time. A while later, Zola brought over Chen Zhao's clothes. His suit was black. Putting it on, he felt like it was tight but not overly so. It was perfect. The material, cuts, and workmanship all showed a perfectionist's attention to detail. Zola personally fixed Chen Zhao's collar and then held his chin as she studied him. To be honest, sometimes, the person made the clothes look good. Other times, the clothes made the person look good. Wearing the suit with the blue and white striped round-collared shirt inside, Chen Zhao's entire aura changed. He wasn't ugly in the first place and had that Asian aura. His figure was also extraordinary. This suit complemented his curves, tactful but not restrained. Cooper was satisfied with his work. Trish and Nat commented on it from the side. Cooper used Croatian soft cotton to fill the suit with elasticity, Trish said. This is a good idea, but it also means that you couldn't grasp the measurements enough. If it were me, I'd use fine cotton. This would enhance Mr. Chen's curves. The straight collar is a flaw too, Nat said. If it were me, I'd use a rounded collar. People of the same field were the worst critics. Chen Zhao was satisfied with this suit, but Trish and Nat made it seem valueless and full of flaws. Of course, every designer had their own temper, style, and insistences. Faced with the two's criticisms, Cooper refuted them all. Oh, when is Farley coming? Zola asked. She's still at work, but she'll leave early. Probably in the afternoon. Farley's dress was kept in a delicate box. The dress was completely white. It was strapless with a long dress and detailed patterns that were probably hand-sewn. This dress was elegant and graceful. Even though Farley wasn't wearing it, just touching it gave off a refreshing feeling. Chen Zhao was already imagining how beautiful Farley would look when she put it on. Chen, are you satisfied with the dress? It's up to Farley, Chen Zhao said, smiling. But I'm sure she'll love it. Chapter 305, Stunning. Chapter 305, Stunning. Lucy came to Angel Beach. When she stepped into the Coastal Rescue Team HQ, she attracted the attention of almost every man. The ladies all stared at her with envy and jealousy. Perhaps Robio was the only one who could remain calm. Hi Miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for Farley. Is she here? Oh, she's patrolling, Robio said. Please sit here for a while. Just then, a male lifeguard approached them. Hi, are you Ms. Lucy? Yes. Ms. Lucy, nice to meet you. Can I take a photo with you please? Of course. After he successfully got the photo, more male lifeguards began to approach her. Lucy was friendly and approachable. Very quickly, all the male lifeguards became her fans, staring at her in admiration. Ms. Lucy, do you know Farley? A female lifeguard asked. We're good friends, Lucy said, smiling. You're good friends? God, Farley has never told me that she's friend with a star. To be honest, these lifeguards were too naive for the intrigues in Hollywood. Lucy did not even do much before everyone knelt before her, both men and women. Ms. Lucy, why are you looking for Farley? We're attending a show tonight. I plan to go there with her together. What show? A show for a high-class clothing brand. I think most people might not really know this brand, Lucy said, smiling. Can we go as well? I'm afraid not. I'm a specially invited guest and I'll be walking on the stage. Farley has an invitation card. Why does Farley have an invite? Did you give it to her? Her boyfriend got the invitation card. He's a friend of the owner of that brand. Everyone had different feelings. The eyes of many female lifeguards sparkled. It was Farley's boyfriend again. That Asian was the perfect boyfriend. He was rich and handsome. He had the unique charm of an Eastern man and was also strong. Moreover, he could bring Farley to attend high-class social occasions. He was the Prince Charming that every girl dreamed of getting. Why didn't I notice him when he first came here? How did the fox Farley get him? Just then, Farley and Walter came back from outside. She saw Lucy, who was sitting in the rest area, and approached her. Lucy, why are you here? Of course I'm waiting for you so that we can go to Baron Mansion together. When does your shift end? Wait, I need to inform Captain. Chen just sent me a message and a photo of my formal dress. I can't wait to wear it. Just curious, why were you at Baron Mansion yesterday? Oh, it's Ms. Zola. She asked her designers to design formal wear for me and Chen. We originally planned to borrow them, but Ms. Zola said we need to have matching dresses for the show. Can't be too casual. Lucy sighed silently. Zola was really close to Chen Zhao. She actually asked her designers to make costumes for them just for this show. Farley gave Walter to Robio, who would take care of him for the night. Farley, did you drive to work? Yes, my car is right there. Lucy saw the Aston Martin and guessed that it must have been a gift from Chen Zhao. To be honest, Lucy really envied Farley. If Farley were to become an actress, she would be the one closest to success. Her boyfriend could give her everything, all the resources and people that an unknown actor needed. When they arrived at Baron Mansion, they saw Chen Zhao in his gentlemanly suit. Of course, Princess, who was standing behind Chen Zhao, was way more obvious. Princess was wearing a supersized men's clothing. Although she was female, the designers really could not think of a dress that matched her sex. With her formal wear, Princess also had a very special temperament. Chen, she's Princess. These are her kids, Briar and Bramble. They'll be part of our family. Farley and Lucy just saw the two small bears beside their feet. Miss Farley, here you are. Please follow me. Trish walked out. When Farley came out with her dress, Chen Zhao was truly stunned. The height of her tube top was just nice. It was sexy and yet not vulgar. Her bare shoulders added to her charm. Slightly shy, Farley stood before Chen Zhao like a beautiful princess. I just feel that something's missing, Lucy said, touching her chin. Me too, Trish said. Right, Ms. Farley needs an accessory. Chen Zhao took out Red Moon Heart. Farley's eyes glittered. Chen, why is it here? Of course it's for this moment. When Lucy and Tries saw the pendant, they could hardly breathe. Red Moon Heart was simply irresistible for any woman. It could drive any woman insane. It was a piece of moon crystal from hell. In this world, it was a unique piece. Chen Zhao put Red Moon Heart on Farley. Lucy and Trish could not even move their eyes away as they muttered, "It's beautiful." Just then, Zola came. When she saw the pendant before Farley's chest, she was also momentarily lost. It's amazing. Zola approached Farley. Can I take a look? Of course. Smiling, Farley took down the pendant. It's special. What material is the chain made of? Platinum. It's softer than platinum, and it's also not silver. But, the ruby. When Zola placed the pendant below the lights, dazzling red starlight was emitted. It was an indescribable grace. With Zola's understanding of gems, she could tell that it was definitely not man-made. But was there even such a huge ruby on the market? Such a large and pure gem would probably cost more than tens of millions. Farley, sorry for my bluntness, but would you sell the pendant? Farley shook her head. Chen gave it to me. I won't sell it to anyone. All right. Zola hesitantly returned the pendant to Farley. Wow! What a huge bear. It's so cute, everyone heard a voice from behind. A lady had already leaped at Princess. Chen Zhao and Zola were both stunned. The lady stroked Princess's hair. It's so soft as if it's real. Chapter 306, I'm not interested in knowing you. Chapter 306, I'm not interested in knowing you. The woman looked up at Princess. Princess also looked down at this unfamiliar woman. This is real? The woman was stunned. Miss Quinn. Zola seemed to know her. What makes you think it's fake? Quinn Charlie jumped aside in fear and pointed at Princess, terrified. It's real. Aren't you all scared? That's a bear. Miss Quinn, its name is Princess. Just like you, it's a performing guest tonight. What? That? It's a bear. We have so many people here, but it's still sitting there obediently. This means that it's safe. Plus, you came over to hug it. It didn't attack you, right? Can I touch it again? Ah. What is it doing? Quinn stepped back in fear after hearing Princess. It says sure. You're not lying, right? Quinn reached out. She cautiously got close and touched. Princess had shaken hands with countless people today, so she knew what to do. She reached out a paw. Quinn finally grasped Princess's paw. Wow, it really feels nice. Quinn turned around in excitement. Zola, sell it to me. I don't care how expensive. Sorry, I can't make the decision. It's not mine. No problem. You can decide for the owner. I'm sure the owner won't reject my price. Oh, what price do you offer? Chen Zhao asked. Everyone looked meaningfully at Quinn, who was still jovial. You look familiar. Quinn stared at Chen Zhao. She finally realized that Chen Zhao was the one who gave her money when she sang on the street today. Chen Zhao didn't recognize her though, or maybe he didn't know her at all. You didn't tell me what price you'd offer. What is it to you? It's not yours. Quinn, sorry, Zola said, smiling. Princess is his. His. Quinn looked at Chen Zhao. Sell Princess to me. How's $100,000? Sorry, she's not for sale. Quinn, are you broke recently? You probably can't get $100,000 for a bear from a zoo, let alone Princess. All my money went to my album, Quinn said, embarrassed. How are your album sales? It hasn't come out yet, Quinn said, expression pained. How about this? I'll write an IOU for $1 million. When my album is released, I'll return the money. Miss, the door is that way. You. Quinn, stop. This isn't your home. Other than me, no one else will tolerate you. Zola grabbed Quinn, who was about to throw a tantrum. I won't give up. Quinn stomped away. Sorry, Chen. Quinn is like that. She doesn't mean any harm. She's a singer. She calls herself a singer, but no label has signed her yet. She uses her allowance to produce an album but still hasn't succeeded yet. Is her family rich? Very rich. Zola nodded. By 6, more and more people had come to the Baron Mansion. Many of them were top figures of different fields, including celebrities. Chen Zhao didn't pay attention to showbiz, but he still saw familiar faces. He walked in with Farley and instantly, Farley became the center of attention. Her features, dress, and that red stone on her chest made people unable to look away. Graceful and relaxing classical music rang throughout the room. Chen Zhao wasn't a musician, but that kind of music was indeed calming. Just then, a man with slicked back hair walked to Chen Zhao and Farley. Miss, may I have this dance? Sorry, I have a partner, Farley rejected directly. The man wouldn't give up. He turned to Chen Zhao. Can I borrow her for a bit? No. Chen Zhao rejected him as well. The man's expression darkened. Sir, this is my card. Let's get to know each other. At events like this, it was basic manners to take out a business card if the other did so. But Chen Zhao was an illegal doctor. How would he have a card? I'm not interested in knowing you. Uncultured. The man turned and left. Chen Zhao grabbed Farley. Don't get impulsive. This isn't our home. Farley looked pleasant, but she really wasn't an upper-class lady. Whatever, let's go in. Farley truly didn't like these kinds of events. It looked fancy, but everyone wore fake smiles. Leonardo's party was much better. They played around and were comfortable. Chen Zhao chuckled wryly. They were family because they were similar. He also disliked this kind of event. It felt suffocating. When they entered the venue, the lights had already dimmed. Chen Zhao and Farley found their seats in the first row before the stage. There were no VIP boxes for shows like this. The best positions were closest to the stage. The stage was also different from other tea stages. It was O-shaped instead. The audience grew gradually quiet. Chen Zhao discovered that Quinn sat beside him. "Hi, I heard you're Chen, right? How can I help you? What do you think about my suggestion earlier? If you're not satisfied with $1 million, how about $2 million? Miss Quinn, the show is about to start. Let's just watch the show. Plus, aren't you a performing guest? Why are you sitting here?" As a performer, Lucy had gone backstage long ago to prepare. "I'm just singing a song at the end," Quinn said. "Also, miss, your necklace is really pretty." Farley looked over Chen Zhao to Quinn. "Thank you. Can you sell it to me?" Farley glanced at her and stopped talking. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes without holding back. How come this girl was so annoying? Just then, all the lights dimmed. Everyone quieted down too. Next, a spotlight shone at the end of the stage. Princess and Lucy stood before the curtains. It was a Beauty and the Beast unit. As the music sounded, this strange unit started walking to the center of the ring-shaped stage under everyone's eyes. Princess stood up. Her giant figure set off stunned ripples through the audience. Under the dazzling lights, Princess reached out her arms and picked up Lucy bridal style. Lucy's dress complemented her beauty today. Under the graceful music, Princess spun around with Lucy in her arms and then put her down softly. Finally, the Beauty and the Beast walked to the other end of the stage. The lights dimmed gradually as well. It was only a fashion show, but the guests and audience all felt like they'd watched a stage play. Applause sounded. Chen Zhao heard Quinn murmur, "I must have it." Chapter 307, Return Home. Chapter 307, Return Home. Lucy and Princess exited backstage, where Zola was at. Zola hugged Lucy in excitement. To be honest, Lucy had a very powerful aura. On the stage, her feminine aura was fully displayed. With Princess at her side, she gave everyone a feeling that she needed protection. Then, the models began to go out on stage one after another. They all walked in couples, wearing carefully designed costumes. With the help of the lighting, all the pairs of models appeared to be particularly stunning. The audience below the stage occasionally applauded for them. "Ms. Lucy, your performance was outstanding. Do you mind giving me your number? Perhaps we can work together again in the future." Lucy was elated. Being able to exchange contact with Zola meant that Zola had quite a good impression of her. Lucy was even more grateful for Chen Zhao's help the night before. If Chen Zhao did not help her, she probably would not even have appeared on the stage. She would not have made the perfect show and left a strong impression on many of the famous people present. Indeed, there were many influential and powerful people present at the show. Leaving a good impression on them was more important than acting a small role in a movie. The show was rather successful. Reputation was actually only secondary for Zola's brand. If Zola wanted a reputation, she only had to find a few celebrities. All of America would know her brand in just a few days. What she really needed was style and a deep impression on the upper social class. She needed Baroness to be the first brand these people thought of whenever they had to attend an occasion or tailor-make a dress. It was a different business route. For normal international brands, no matter how luxurious they seemed to be, most of their products were aimed at the general public. Their products could be bought with just money, But Baroness was different. Apart from money, one also needed some status. All their costumes were tailor-made. It would be a truly luxurious brand. This was Zola's ideology. Zola had in fact been very successful. All the Hollywood stars now took pride in owning a Baroness dress. They were like the wind vanes of fashion. The other upper-class people would think that they were right. As celebrities, their aesthetics were obviously thought to be superior. Since they were rushing to get Baroness dresses, the rest would not want to fall behind. Before this, Chen Zhao and Farley had never been to a real show. However, they realized that it was not as good as they had thought. It was merely a place for those upper-class tagged people to interact. Even though Chen Zhao and Farley were wearing gorgeous dresses, they were still poor people. Their characters predetermined that they would never be in the upper class. Living in such an environment would only be more uncomfortable for them. Hence, one could foresee that they would never accept an invitation to such a show again, even though Zola had invited them with good intent. After the show ended, Chen Zhao and Farley bid goodbye to Zola. "Jonal, has that woman left? Her car has already left Baron Mansion. Follow her. Keep your distance and don't alert her. Follow her to her house. There's an SUV behind her car. Maybe it's her bodyguard. She's wearing such a precious gem, after all. Jonal, are you sure the ruby on her pendant is real? Bart, have you forgotten what I worked as before this? I can tell if it's real or not by just looking. But don't kill her later. She's too beautiful. We can have some fun after we can the gem. Del, Farley, and I are going home. You can send Beelzebub and the rest there. You know where my keys are." After Del hung up, he looked at the courtyard. Faith was still riding on Blackmar. Many parents would buy a pet for their kid because the pet could keep their kid company, especially dogs. Just like children, dogs are very energetic and would hardly be tired. Therefore, dogs are the best choice to keep children company. Faith had been playing since the morning and she was still not tired. "Faith, let's go and visit Uncle Chen. Are we sending Blackmar and the rest home?" "Yes." "All right. I'm going there on Black Emma's back." Anyway, Del's manor was only 10 minutes or so away from Chen Zhao's residence. He did not mind walking there and coming back. When Del arrived, Chen Zhao had yet to reach. Del took the keys and went in. Soon, he heard a car being parked outside the house. Faith shouted and ran to the door. "War!" Faith suddenly made a series of exclamations. Del thought that something had happened and quickly ran to the door as well. When Chen Zhao walked into the house, there was an enormous brown bear beside him. The bear was also carrying 2 small bears. Del also exclaimed. Funnily, the father and the daughter exclaimed in the exact same way. "Chen, where did you get the bear?" "No, 3 bears." Faith was not scared at all. She had already leaped at Princess and hugged Princess's huge head. How big was Princess? She was about as heavy as Blackmar, Whitemar, Obitos, and Walter combined. Princess opened her mouth and bit Faith's shirt, after which she walked inside. "Chen, you have to give me one of them. You have 3 bears, give me a small one. Let it grow up with Faith." "No way. You can't just separate the family." Farley, introduce Princess, Briar, and Bramble to their new friends. Tell them not to fight. Also get them some food. Hearing the word food, Blackmar, Whitemar, and the rest all crowded toward Farley. Faith kept following Princess. Princess was already intelligent and she also really liked Faith, given that she was a mother herself. Chen Zhao heaved a sigh and removed his jacket. Del took 2 cans of beer and threw Chen Zhao one. The two sat beside the swimming pool. "Chen, where did you go today? Look at how handsome you are and how pretty Farley is." "A show for a clothing brand," Chen Zhao said. "I already regret it. Shouldn't have gone there. It's too painful." "I don't like that kind of occasion either," Del said. Del was similar to Chen Zhao. Although Del was born into an upper-class family, he was not a person who would follow the rules. His actions in the past were sufficient to illustrate his personality. Just then, Faith stuck her head out from upstairs. "Dad, I'm sleeping with Princess, Briar, and Bramble tonight. Chapter 308, Jewel Pirate. Chapter 308, Jewel Pirate. How about you let Faith stay here tonight? Chen Zhao asked. You're really going to let her sleep with a bear? I'll have Farley bring her to our bed at night, Chen Zhao whispered. He was hurt right now, but he didn't want Farley to know, so they obviously wouldn't have sex tonight. Fine, Del agreed. Yay. Princess, we can sleep together. I'm going back, Del said, finishing his beer. Chen Zhao walked Del to the door. Del only took 2 steps and 2 masked men jumped out from beside the road. One pointed a gun at Del's head, the other pointed at Chen Zhao. Chen, is this your prank? Del couldn't figure out if these 2 were real robbers or if it was a joke. Chen Zhao gulped. Seeing his expression, Del finally realized that they were really in trouble. Chen Zhao would joke with him but never about something so dangerous. Hey, if you want money, Chen Zhao said. All the money in my wallet is yours. No reason to shoot just for that. The robber pointing a gun at Chen Zhao said through the mask, You think we're just hooligans? You think we'll come to find you for a few $100? That's the most I can give you. Go. You 2 go in. The other masked robber pushed Del. Chen Zhao caught Del. He didn't dare do anything out of hand under the 2 guns. Go slowly. If you do anything abnormal, we'll shoot. Chen Zhao and Del raised their hands and slowly retreated to the living room. Once there, the 2 robbers started looking around. Where's the woman? Who? That pretty woman in the white dress and red necklace. There's no such woman here, Chen Zhao said calmly. Bullshit. We saw her come here. Chen Zhao looked at one of them. They knew that Farley wore a white dress and had the red moon heart. They must have hidden outside the mansion and gotten ideas. They might have noticed Farley at the show. Chen Zhao observed them. Gradually, his eyes fell on one of them. He realized the man's identity, or rather, his face. This man should be the one with slicked back hair who tried to dance with Farley but gotten rejected. Jonal seemed to notice Chen Zhao's eyes and grinned. You found me out. Jonal didn't keep hiding. He pulled his mask down. I didn't think the upper class would also be common robbers. Jonal laughed. My elite lifestyle is supported by my work, but I don't like being a robber. I like to call myself the Jewel Pirate. Jonal, stop wasting time talking to them, Bart said, annoyed. Find the person and get the stone. Jonal really enjoyed the moment, the feeling of being the victor. Asian, call the woman out and let us have fun. Don't waste our time. We'll let you 2 go if we feel good. Chen, Farley walked out. She'd been busy in the kitchen and didn't know what was happening. As soon as she made a sound, she realized something was wrong. The instant Jonal turned his head, Chen Zhao moved. But the next moment, Bart fired. He shot Chen Zhao's shoulder, making him falter. He looked down to see his left shoulder spewing with blood. Jonal looked at the injured Chen Zhao. Ha! Don't pull tricks before Bart. He was in Afghanistan and killed more than 30 people. Bart looked at Chen Zhao. He could feel Chen Zhao's dangerous aura. You'll regret it, Chen Zhao said, expression cold. Most people fall down with a bullet, but you can stay up. Did you train in this? Chen Zhao didn't speak. He just stared coldly at Bart. You can't beat me. I won't let you get close to me. If you move again, I'll shoot your head next. Jonal looked at Farley with shining eyes. Bart, I said the girl's pretty enough, right? Very pretty. Bart licked his lips. You, come over, Jonal called out. Chen Zhao shook his head. Farley, don't. Jonal scoffed. You think it'll be okay if she doesn't come over? Farley retreated back into the kitchen. Jonal walked toward Farley. He didn't think Farley could pose any threat to him, especially since he had a gun. Jonal, don't kill her, Bart said. I haven't had fun yet. I know. One time isn't enough with such a pretty girl. We have the entire night. Jonal was already inside the kitchen. They heard a bunch of bangs and crashes. Bart smiled at Chen Zhao. Do you hear that? Jonal is playing with your girl now. Del was nervous, but his eyes carried some sympathy. He saw Chen Zhao's cold face and knew that he wouldn't let this fly. Bart thought that it was about time. He lifted his gun. He was going to aim at Chen Zhao's head this time. Pulling back the trigger, bang. Chen Zhao raised his hand instantly. Pain traveled from his palm and blood flowed out. Bart was shocked. How come the bullet didn't penetrate Chen Zhao's hand? Chen Zhao opened his hand. His palm was a bloody mess with a bullet embedded inside. Was this a joke? Catching a bullet with his bare hand? Bart raised his gun again, but before he could shoot, a brilliant red flower bloomed on his arm. He turned around, incredulous, and saw Farley holding a gun. He suddenly noticed a black shadow behind Chen Zhao. It was like something was about to jump out of it. Terrified, Bart took 2 steps back, but he bumped into something behind him. When he turned around, he saw a huge gaping maw. Black Ma had gotten behind him at some point. Bart fell to the ground in terror and stared at Black Ma. Jonal was dragged out too, but White Ma was biting his neck. White Ma didn't apply any pressure, but Jonal didn't dare make a sound or move around. The fangs touching his veins make him truly feel death. White Ma tossed Jonal next to Bart and Chen Zhao walked over. What did I just say? You'll regret this. Del sounded as if he was telling a joke. Do you know? A kidnapper has been buried in my manor for 12 years. If you dare to kill me, my people won't let you off, Bart threatened. Do you have your friends' numbers? I don't think you're enough for my pets. You two are quite skinny, after all, Chen Zhao said. Chen Zhao glanced at Farley. Farley, you really need to go back to the bedroom. You won't like what's about to happen. Actually, Farley did not want Chen Zhao to dirty his hands, just like how Chen Zhao did not want Farley to dirty hers. Nevertheless, Farley could tell that Chen Zhao was really furious. It was not something that could be pacified by time alone. Don't dirty the room, Farley said, after which she turned around and went upstairs. To be honest, she could not allow their pets to eat Bart and Jonal. Of course, she believed that Chen Zhao would not accept it too. Perhaps Chen Zhao really wanted to kill the two, but he would not ask his pets to eat humans. Del, get me my toolbox. Del trotted over and took the toolbox. Chen, what are you going to do? Del saw Chen Zhao take out a set of silver needles. These hair-thin needles had been frequently used to treat him in the past. However, when Chen Zhao took them out now, he looked rather fearsome. What is the most painful medical condition? Chen Zhao asked. What? Paralysis, full paralysis. Chen Zhao pressed Bart onto the floor. He pushed Bart's head to one side and stuck a needle in. Bart struggled wildly, attempting to break free from Chen Zhao's control. However, Chen Zhao was too strong. Even though he had a gun wound on the shoulder, he was still incredibly powerful. Can't move, can't speak, can't even express your pain to others. The silver needle pierced into Bart's spine, destroying his spinal nerves. When Chen Zhao withdrew the needle, Bart lay on the ground, motionless. Apart from his eyes, he could not move any part of his body, including his tongue. Full paralysis was as terrifying as ALS. Chen Zhao looked at Jonal, who had already peed himself. Don't be so nervous. It won't hurt. Very soon, you'll realize that you don't have to worry about anything anymore. Someone will take care of you for the rest of your life. Doesn't that thought immediately brighten your mood? Chapter 310 New Train of Thought. Chapter 310 New Train of Thought. It would be weirder if he would feel better. Jonal struggled in fear, but Chen Zhao was stronger. Just then, Blackie said, Human, if you want them to be in more pain, you can use the flesh fusion spell to connect their bodies. This way, they can share their pain. You can also connect an object to them. What's the point of that? After connecting them, you can attack them by attacking the object. Is it like the Bloodline Blend spell? No. Bloodline Blend is connecting souls of people with blood relations. It's a coexistence. On the other hand, flesh fusion completely forces two bodies or objects to be fused together into a new creature. Chen Zhao kind of understood. Bloodline Blend was like Movich Tutor's, fusing his relatives' souls into his body. Flesh fusion was for fusing solid objects. Are there any special conditions for fusing items with their bodies? It can be any object. At least, most items can be used. For example, if you connect a cup to them, they'll die when you shatter the cup. Chen Zhao got an idea. What if I connect 3 items to Movich Tutor's body and then move the 3 souls onto the items? Would that work? Blackie was stunned. Hey, that seems to work. It technically doesn't change anything, but it can make Movich Tutor's go back to normal. There's one thing though. If the items he's connected to get destroyed, he'll also die. Before this, Chen Zhao, Blackie and the other demons only considered how to extract the 3 souls from Movich Tutor's. However, they'd already become one. Taking them out meant that they would die. Blackie's unexpected interjection gave Chen Zhao another direction to think. Then how about I fuse him with something strong and indestructible? Would that work? There are no truly indestructible items, but you can replace it with a badge. Badges are hard to destroy. Chen Zhao thought for a moment. He'd have to ask Beelzebub Zophie to help get badges. He didn't need any special functions. It just had to have regular effects like the Red Moon Heart. Chen Zhao looked around and picked up 2 goblets. Del looked at him in confusion. Did Chen Zhao want to drink wine? But then he discovered that Chen Zhao's actions were strange. He took a drop of blood each from Bart and Jonal and dripped it into the goblet. It looked like he was doing some ritual. A few minutes later, Chen Zhao said to Del, "You can call the cops now." "Call the cops? You're letting them go?" "Of course. Do you really want to kill them?" Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. "Look at them right now. They're like a pile of mud. Isn't it more interesting when they're alive?" Del looked at the supposed mud and shrugged. "Fine, whatever you say. How will you explain when the cops come? They broke into my home while armed and my pets attacked them to protect us. I don't know how they ended up like this." A while later, the cops came. David happened to be the leader. "Chen, what happened?" Seeing how Chen Zhao was shirtless and had gauze all over his shoulder and chest, he couldn't help but get anxious. "These 2 call themselves Jewel Pirate. Farley and I attended a fashion show and they got their eyes on us." Of every 10 sentences, Chen Zhao only lied once. He told the truth about everything except turning them into vegetables for revenge. David was familiar with Chen Zhao, so he knew some of these things. However, he only had to confirm their identities. As for whether they ended up like this because of Chen Zhao's revenge, he didn't care to ask. Chen Zhao didn't think that David would be the leader either. He wasn't from Beverly Hills Department, right? "David, how come you're responsible for this area?" "I got moved to be the crime investigation captain at Beverly Hills yesterday." "Oh, let me introduce you to Del, my friend. He lives nearby." "Hi, David." "Come hang out when you're free." After everything, David left with his men. Del went home as well. Chen Zhao had Black Ma accompany Del for a bit, since it was at night. Next day. "Chen, how come these goblets broke?" "Farley was cleaning up in the morning." "They're just useless trash," Chen Zhao said, stretching. "Who knows how they broke? We usually drink beer instead of wine. I think we should just toss them out." A while later, Del came over. Instead of taking Faith away, he brought 2 more troublemakers. Vera and Ronnie went to find Faith in the morning. Hearing that she was at Chen Zhao's house instead and that he had 3 new bears, they insisted on coming to play. After getting Laura and Risvar's permission, Del brought the kids to Chen Zhao's house. Princess was lazily sunbathing by the pool. Faith, Ronnie, and Vera played happily with Bramble and Briar. Principal, you seem spirited these days. Wright replied to the praise with a smile. It was just spirited. In order to not get discovered, she even put on some makeup to look older. She went to the meeting room. There were some deans and figures of the management level. Let's get straight to the point today, Wright said. Right, I discovered an unfamiliar name in the medical school system. Zhao Chen, specially invited professor, traditional Chinese medicine. I also checked his attendance record. It seems that he hasn't held any classes. Can you explain this? The speaker was Fars Bind, dean of the medical department. He used to be under Wright. Now that Wright was the principal, he became the dean. This is a professor that I appreciate, Wright said indifferently. Must I explain? In UCLA, Wright had the highest seniority, status, and power. She didn't have to explain her motives and intentions to anyone, especially someone who used to be under her. Wright, you're abusing your power. Please, Fars Bind. Don't talk about abusing power. I just became the principal. Can't I enjoy my power a bit? Wright's reply was rascally. Everyone in the room chuckled wryly. Half of them had been her student. They couldn't say anything. Even though this professor had a title of being a lecturer for traditional Chinese medicine, his salary was zero. Thus, Wright wasn't really using her special power to benefit herself. They were also familiar with her. She was very strict. For example, Fars Bind had worked in the school for 20 years before becoming an official professor. Fars Bind was only curious about this Zhao Chen. He didn't actually want to go against Wright. Okay, next topic. I don't want you to doubt someone I chose anymore. Principal, the University of California Joint Sports Competition is starting soon. We haven't chosen a leader yet. The athletic team's representative also requested a budget of $200,000 from the school. The University of California was made up of 10 universities throughout the state, including UCLA. There was no hierarchy between these schools. They shared staff and resources. Of course, even though they were all UC schools, there was obviously still competition. They would compete over everything, from academics to athletics. There was also a sports competition every year. The 10 schools would compete against each other. That's impossible, Wright said. What would the $200,000 be used for? Does training require that much? They usually train in our school and don't use that much money. Plus, the event will be held on our campus this year. Why would they need $200,000? Suddenly, she saw the red light before her, but her car already hit the car in front of her. Shit. If she wasted any more time, she might miss the opportunity. However, Paris still had to leave her car to check the situation. The driver in front also alighted. Chen, it's you? Ms. Paris, what a coincidence. You look really beautiful today. Are you going to a party? It's my friend's party. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen. It's my fault. Chapter 312, Don't Disturb My Meal. Chapter 312, Don't Disturb My Meal. When James' car arrived at Rasfer's Manor, he stopped. The guard tapped on the window, asking, "Sir, how may I help you?" James took out his invitation. The guard checked it and let them through. Seeing the Dreamy Manor, Paris grew even more excited. She'd never come to somewhere like this before. Even the parking lot was surrounded by greenery. There were countless fancy cars in the parking lot. James' car was the least eye-catching one. Paris followed closely behind James. She didn't dare to walk around alone. Everything here gave her pressure. It was obvious that the mansion was extremely expensive too. Merely the garden that they walked past was the size of a soccer field. There were a dozen gardeners fixing things there. After the garden, the golden beach appeared before her eyes. It was beautiful. It completely changed her impression of what enjoyment meant. As the saying went, being poor restricted her imagination. Paris had been quite confident before coming. Now that she was here, she grew timid and shy. A few pretty girls ran around on the beach in bikinis, frolicking. After arriving at a mansion, James held Paris' hand and walked into the living room. Paris saw Stephen and another older man. They were talking on the sofa, each with a woman clinging onto them. Paris wished she could become those women. She didn't recognize the other man, but he must be important if he could talk to Stephen like this. "Oh, James, you're here." Stephen saw him. "Your partner is beautiful." "Mr. Stephen, hello." James walked forward. "This is Paris." "Hello, Mr. Stephen." "I'm discussing something with Rasfa," Stephen said. "Go have fun by yourself." James took Paris to the porch. A server brought 2 glasses of wine to them. "Is the man speaking to Stephen the owner of this place?" "His Rasfa, a billionaire and the CEO of PLM Film." "That's him." "They're men standing at the peak of Hollywood's food chain," James said. Paris' eyes flashed. She felt disappointed. She should have performed better just then. Maybe then that Mr. Rasfa could look at her some more. "Come eat with me at the restaurant." "Hi, Paul." Chen Zhao pulled up to the entrance of Rasfa's manor. Paul was there to invite the guests. When he saw Chen Zhao's car, he immediately went over. "Chen, should I park the car for you?" "No need. It's not my first time here." Chen Zhao parked and found that Paul was waiting for him outside the lot. Paul looked at Briar and Bramble in Chen Zhao's arms, as well as Princess behind him. Paul didn't find it strange anymore. This was Mr. Druid after all. He wouldn't find it strange, no matter what animal was beside Chen Zhao. "Chen, do you need anything? Take me to get some food. I'm hungry." "Sure, follow me." Chen Zhao went to the restaurant and Paul went to tell the kitchen. He knew that Chen Zhao had a big appetite. Soon, a big platter of meat and fruit salad was served. "Thanks, Paul." "No problem." "Chen, do you need anything else? Help me take care of this family. Her name is Princess and these are her kids, Briar and Bramble. Princess is really obedient. The kids are a bit playful though. Watch them for a bit." "No problem. I'll go work now. Call me whenever you need anything." "Princess, let's go." As expected, Princess followed Paul away. Briar and Bramble stuck close behind too. Chen Zhao shoved meat into his mouth as if he hadn't eaten in days. Just then, 2 people came to the restaurant. It was James and Paris. The latter immediately saw Chen, who was devouring food. Him. Paris was surprised to see Chen Zhao here. James heard Paris' voice. Looking at Chen Zhao, he frowned. So unrefined. He doesn't even care about the environment. "Paris, do you know him?" "I saw him twice before. We're not close. I bumped into his car today." "Oh." Holding Paris' hand, James walked over to Chen Zhao. Chen Zhao was happily munching. He looked up to see James and Paris. "Oh, Paris. What a coincidence. Hey, pay attention to the surroundings." "Surroundings? What surroundings?" Chen Zhao was taken aback, finding this weird. It was just a restaurant in the manor. It's not like it was a fancy place. Plus, he was eating here alone. Did he have to pretend to eat daintily? Chapter 313, A Very Big Trouble. Chapter 313, A Very Big Trouble. Chen Zhao had a satisfying meal. Of course, he did not drink any alcohol, since he was going to drive later. Even though Chen Zhao had a high alcohol tolerance, he knew very well that he should not drink and drive. Moreover, he would also not drink when he still had clients to treat. Clients would surely be unhappy to see him filled with the smell of alcohol, just like when he met Laurent last time. Anyway, as Chen Zhao walked in the manor, he saw James and Paris again, flirting with each other. When the two saw Chen Zhao, they stopped immediately. Where are you going? James looked at Chen Zhao, clearly displeased. It's none of your business. It's the main living room ahead. You can't go in. Why can't I go in? Only guests are allowed. You're just a worker. Are you the housekeeper here? Chen Zhao asked. James was enraged. I'm a guest. Then you're not the owner. Who are you to care about where I go? You're just not allowed to go in. If you insist, I'll have to ask someone to chase you out. Chen Zhao pushed James away. Are you crazy? Paris purposely shouted, Mr. Chen, are you sure you want to be a monkey here? It won't do you any good. Chen Zhao was baffled. He did not recall offending them before. He did not understand why they kept picking on him. What the fuck? Chen Zhao walked directly toward the living room. James chased him at once. Paris also followed them closely, thinking that Chen Zhao's foolish action might actually be good for her. If she managed to display herself before Rasfa and Stephen, they might just remember her. When they entered the living room, James blocked Chen Zhao again. He even deliberately raised his volume. I said you can't come in. What's wrong with you? Don't you know where this is? Mr. Chen, please stop. Don't disturb Mr. Stephen and Mr. Rasfa, Paris also said loudly. Are the two of you insane? Chen Zhao turned his head and looked at Stephen and Rasfa. Stephen, Rasfa, did you hire them to pick on me? Stephen and Rasfa had also noticed the noise. Rasfa's expression was rather weird. Stephen, did you arrange this? Stephen looked even more stunned. James, what are you doing? Mr. Stephen, this guy forced his way in. I wanted to stop him. Didn't want him to disturb you and Mr. Rasfa. Stephen was so angry that he threw a wine glass at James. Scram. Chen's our friend. We had a hard time inviting him here. What were you doing? James was astonished, so was Paris. Chen Zhao sat down beside the two and said to the beauties beside them, Excuse me. The two ladies moved away. Rasfa and Stephen did not know whether to laugh or cry. Chen, I'm sorry, he's one of my assistants. He probably thought that you work here. Do I look like a worker? Rasfa, be honest. To be frank, you really do. Why did you dress up so casually? You didn't tell me to dress up. When Stephen called me, I was strolling on the street. I came here only for the free meal and to chat with you. Stephen glanced at James and Paris, who were still standing at the door. You two, come here. Mr. Stephen. The two quickly walked up like two kids who had just done something wrong. They stood before Stephen, not daring to sit down. James, can you explain why you wanted to provoke Chen? James faltered a few words and could not explain himself. Clearly, he could not tell Stephen that he had wanted to pick a pushover and show off before Paris. James thought about it and finally said, Paris accidentally hit Mr. Chen's car today. I wanted to speak up for her. Stephen glanced at Paris in disgust. James was shoving the responsibility onto Paris. Stephen of course thought that Paris was the one who had instigated James to start the conflict. Paris could not regret more. If she had known that Chen Zhao knew Stephen and Rasfa, she would have asked him for help. It was obvious that Chen Zhao had more power than James. James did not even dare to speak before Stephen and Rasfa. However, Chen Zhao was talking to the two like they had equal status. Chen, look at you. Why must you drive that cheap car? Just take a car from my garage, Rasfa said. I don't plan to change it. My car is great. Chen Zhao felt that cars were only tools for transportation. Apart from functioning properly, he only needed his car to be big enough. Rasfa only had sports cars and luxurious cars in his garage, which were not suitable for Chen Zhao at all. Nevertheless, Chen Zhao now had Princess and her two kids. He indeed planned to change to a bigger car. Chen Zhao lifted his head and realized that Paris and James were still before them. Are you not leaving? Chen. I'm sorry. Paris could do nothing but apologize, hoping that it would redeem Chen Zhao's poor impression of her. It's fine. Chen Zhao did not intend to blame them further. Also, Paris looked at Chen Zhao anxiously. She was worried that she would lose her role as the body double. What? I'm the body double for the female lead in Mr. Stephen's movie. Paris thought that she might as well be direct, since she could not change what she had done. Oh, you're the double for Yafen. Chen, what do you think? You should be the right person to ask. After all, you recommend Yafen to me and you two also had a story in the past. I think she's fine. It's your movie, I won't make any decision. All right. Since you said so, I'll use her, Stephen said. When Paris heard that the female lead of Stephen's new movie had actually been recommended by Chen Zhao, she regretted even more. If she knew it the first time she met Chen Zhao, she would have pushed him into the restroom by force. She had actually missed such a golden opportunity. If I can date him? No, even if I just have sex with him, he will at least give me a supporting role. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. Chen, let's go out to the sea and play one day. What do you think? Rasfa suggested. I'll think about it. You know that I've been bothered by the construction of my new house. When will it be ready? Less than 2 months. Great. When I finish my new movie, we'll go together. Chapter 314, Be careful she doesn't drown you in the sea. Chapter 314, Be careful she doesn't drown you in the sea. Who exactly is that Asian? How can he know Stephen and Rasfa? James was still frustrated. He'd randomly pissed off someone he shouldn't have. I don't know. The first time we met, he came to my workplace to buy a car. The second time, he drove a Ford SUV. I thought he was normal. Paris was filled with regret now. As for James, she disliked him more and more. In the future, she might be able to have another chance with Chen Zhao. She had his number, after all. Plus, she already got the gig as a double. She didn't need James anymore. James blamed Paris for not telling him clearly, while Paris was also disgusted by James. They both disliked each other, so they separated unhappily. Paris went to search by herself, looking around for a rich target. It was her first time to a wealthy man's manor, but she had a good radar. She could tell what level the other was at a glance. Subdirectors like James weren't enough for her anymore. Most people in the manor were at his level too. She stood on the balcony and observed all the people. Most of those who matched her requirements, unfortunately, all had a female accompaniment. The women might not be the man's wife, but they looked at their men like declaring their territory. They'd glare ferociously at any woman who approached. Update by VIP novel. Paris wouldn't have the chance to take them down even if she wanted to. She looked at the beach from afar and saw that Chen Zhao was lying on a recliner alone. Getting an idea, she got 2 glasses of red wine from a server and strolled over. Have a drink? No, I have to drive later. Chen Zhao glanced at Paris. He really wasn't interested. Paris clearly approached him with an ulterior motive. When she heard that he didn't have money the second time, she left with an ugly expression. Chen Zhao wasn't interested in women like that. She was pretty, but there were plenty of beauties in Hollywood. For example, Yafen or even Lucy were both as pretty as Paris. If Chen Zhao really had needs, he could go find them instead of Paris. Chen, I'm truly sorry for what happened earlier. You already apologized. No need to come over and say it again. Chen, can't you help me? Paris asked straightforwardly. I'm new to Hollywood. I'll pay anything for this. Sorry, I can't help you. No, you can. You only need to say something to Stephen. To you, it's just a sentence. We're not that close. Chen Zhao refused her. If Stephen needed a role in a movie and Chen Zhao happened to have a suitable friend, he didn't mind recommending them, such as Yafen or Vincent. However, he wouldn't use his connections to help someone who wasn't even his friend. His connections weren't that cheap. Chen, I can do anything for you. An actress said the same thing to me last time. I have enough women. With your looks, it's actually not hard for you to survive in Hollywood, but you don't have to look for opportunities on me. Chen Zhao was speaking the truth. Women like Paris might not become superstars, but she should have many chances for a handful of roles in a year. Excuse me, that's my spot. Just then, Paris heard a woman's voice behind her. She turned to see a woman in her 30s. She wasn't as pretty as Paris, but she had an undeniable aura. Paris was the hot-tempered type, so she wanted to shoot something back. Don't piss her off, Chen Zhao warned. She'll drown you in the sea. Paris' expression faltered. Any woman who could get in here were all hard to deal with. Judging by her aura, this woman wasn't easy either. She forced a smile. Sorry for disturbing you. With that, Paris ran away. Zola sat down beside Chen Zhao. Have a drink. I just rejected that woman with the excuse that I'm driving, and now, you bring me another glass of wine. This is less than 5 kilometers from where you live. I'll just have someone drive you. Fine. Chen Zhao accepted the glass. I heard from Paul that you had a conflict with a woman. Was it her? Yeah, Chen Zhao replied nonchalantly. You can't keep doing this. You don't even fight back when you get mistreated. She's just an average woman. Am I supposed to ruin her life? She didn't really hurt me. You're too soft-hearted. Zola shook her head. Oh, what did you and Farley think of the fashion show last night? You want the truth? Okay, never mind. I bet you don't like it. I won't invite you anymore. This is the best news I've heard today. Zola glared at him and sipped her wine. But you have to lend me Princess. You still need her. You don't know how great her effect was. I'll agree if it's not every day. I only have one show per season. Your princess can't do it every day even if she wants to. Just then, Chen Zhao's phone rang. He checked and saw it was Gaia. Zola glanced at him. What, you don't want to pick it up? Chen Zhao's smile was a bit forced, but he still picked it up. Hi, Gaia. What's up? Chen, tell me the truth. You really don't know where Morgery is? I don't know. Do you swear? Chen Zhao hesitated and Gaia immediately said, You really do know. Tell me where that coward is hiding. You're my friend and Morgery's my friend too. Chen Zhao clearly couldn't tell Gaia where Morgery was. With their rivalry, Gaia would definitely cut him into pieces if she found Morgery. Then keep protecting him. When I find him, no one will be able to stop me. Not even you. Hearing Gaia's words, Chen Zhao really got a headache. If you have some bad relationship, I suggest you beat him up. The fuck you know? Chapter 315, Fitness Coach. Chapter 315, Fitness Coach. Gaia hung up, leaving Chen Zhao feeling awkward. He did not know what had happened between Gaia and Morgery. The more they did not want to talk about it, the more curious Chen Zhao was. Humans are curious creatures. Given how reluctant Gaia and Morgery were to talk about it, Chen Zhao really wanted to know their past. Chen Zhao reached home before Farley did to prepare dinner. In the evening, Farley returned home. When she saw the dinner, she removed her jacket and hugged Chen Zhao. How come you're already back? I didn't have much to do today, Chen Zhao answered. Do you want to shower first? No, I spent too much time in the sea today. Let's eat first. I may need to leave for 24 hours in a few days' time, Chen Zhao said. Oh, to that place? Yup. When? I'm not sure yet. Chen Zhao shook his head. He had already asked Obito's to tell his father about it. Chen Zhao was also unsure when Obito's could give him an accurate reply. Hi, Madam Wright. Lucian bolted into Wright's office. Wright pushed her glasses. Actually, she no longer needed them, but to avoid suspicion she still had a pair of fake glasses. Lucian, what is it? Madam Wright, I'm here to explain to you the reason for applying for $200,000, Lucian said. All right, please explain. Our college has been participating in UC games for many years. We've never needed $200,000 unless you want to stay in a 5-star hotel during the competition. Actually, it's a request from track and field. They would like to hire a coach. I heard that the coach is very expensive. Do you not have the details? I'm afraid not. In fact, I don't even know who the coach is, but according to Wright, a long-distance runner from track and field, the coach they want to hire is very strong himself. He also has special training which can greatly increase the fitness of our athletes. How long will the coach be here? 1 year. 2. And how long do we need to see the results? How many students will he train? I heard that the coach won't be training too many students. He'll only be carrying out very specific training for no more than 20 days. What? You want me to spend 200,000 just so that 1 or 2 students can have a chance to perform better in a single sports competition? Mr. Lucian, please leave my office, because I'll definitely not approve it. Actually, even Lucian felt that it was too much, let alone Wright. He was a coach in the sports department too. Indeed, he had been a coach for several schools and was in charge of the sports department at the moment. Nevertheless, he had been a coach for secondary schools in the past. His annual salary was less than 60,000. Now, they wanted to hire a coach who cost 200,000 for just 20 days or even fewer. It was more like blackmailing. Even Lucian found it unbelievable, not to mention Wright. Track and field had been strongly requesting it, so he wanted to try it out. Just as expected, he only received a scolding from Wright. Lucian went to the track and field department. When Wright saw him, he immediately ran toward him. Mr. Lucian, is the money approved? Lucian shook his head. You should know that the college will never approve it. I'm willing to take the money as a loan. When I become a professional athlete in the future, I'll slowly return the money to the college. Lucian gave a bitter smile. If a project was very promising, the college would surely invest in it for free. However, who could promise that Wright would certainly succeed? Moreover, while Wright had been achieving fantastic results in the college, there was still a significant difference between him and a professional athlete. Lucian shook his head and patted Wright's shoulder, after which he left. Just then, Evely walked up. Wright, how did it go? Did the school approve it? Wright shook his head. No, there's no way the school will. Will you take a personal loan from me? Evely suddenly suggested. What? I'll lend you the money, but you need to record down for me that person's training methods and diet requirements. How about the interest? Wright was really tempted to agree. If you can unearth the secret of his training, I won't charge you any interest, but you can't, you'll have to pay the bank interest. All right, but I don't have his number. I'll get it for you. Also, are you sure it'll work? Wright was still somewhat hesitant. After all, 200,000 was not a small amount. Even his family could not afford it. If the training was effective, everything would be fine. He could become a professional athlete, achieve good results, and then pay the debt. However, if the training was ineffective, he would have a huge debt for the rest of his life. That's none of my business. If you're willing to bet. It's too risky. I need to think about it. Wright still retreated. Although it was alluring, the consequences might be very severe. The huge debt was enough to ruin his life. Evely shrugged her shoulders. She was just being curious. However, she would not waste 200,000 just to satisfy her curiosity. Normans. Evely called Normans. What? Are you sure that guy is a good coach? Yes, he's an excellent one. As long as you follow his training and diet plans, it'll be very effective. I want to hire him as my swimming coach, but I'm not sure if it'll work. Oh, you're afraid that you won't improve? Of course. You told me how expensive it is. He took 400,000 from Uncle just for 30 days of slimming. I don't think any coach in the world is paid as much as him. Wrong, NBA coaches are. But he's no NBA coach. He's only an illegal doctor, not even a professional coach. Then do you want it or not? If you do, I'll help you to call him. Normans, why don't you pay some of the fee for me? Look at how much you're recommending him. No, I won't benefit even if you improve. Why should I pay for you? We're good sisters. Forget it. In my fattest 3 years, you only visited me thrice. Fine, but I still want to meet him in person and discuss it. When do you want to see him? You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.